Hello? Okay. Audio levels are looking good. I forgot how loud this game is, so I had to turn it down a little bit. Oh! Thank you for the cheese. I still think the slap it makes is hilarious. I think I'm more cheese than person now. Am I French? Thank you for the bald head pets. Okay, I don't remember what was going on. I think the last time we played this... Oh, hello, Vale. Thank you for the... I think it was, I don't know. I just remember that, married couple. The guy who had his wife work as a maid because that way they would look rich or something like that. Oh, God. You know what? That makes me wonder. Do you think tomato milk would taste good? Like tomato mixed with milk. I had to think for a second. I don't think there's a way to make milk out of tomatoes, but you know. Ow! Was that a cursed thought? I don't know. Cause what was it? I saw a video where someone made potato milk. So who's to say you can't do it with tomatoes? Cream of tomato soup is good. Fish milk? Oh no. And then you have like the little like eggs so that you get the little treat, little crunchy, chewy texture. Oh. I don't think it would smell good. Oh my god. You brought this upon yourself, Bayo. Fish milk. Fish milk, but it's just semen. Okay, the jurors' contentions. Oh, that's right. They were all for guilty. I have no idea what's going on. This is gonna be interesting. I also don't remember any of the voices because it's been like 3 weeks, but that's okay. For pity's sake, that little Nipponese oddity already admitted it himself, didn't he? If he said that a woman in green collapsed before his eyes, why, it can only have been the victim. The man wouldn't have gone around the houses on his way back from the bookshop, not in winter. So the poor woman was attacked from behind, was she? How dreadful. I really don't care. Can't we just wrap this up now? I've got work to be doing. Your books. Yes, nice job that. But bourbon books? No, not worth a visit. Bourbon book sounds like a bookshop. Like, it sounds like a concept where people go drinking and reading. Which could work out. I could see that working. You go to like a bookshop to like drink, I don't know, wine or something, whatever people do when they read. And then you like pick out a book. You know what? Somebody do that. That sounds like a good concept. With only minor exceptions, the reasons for finding the defendant guilty are all too clear. You don't think that'll work? Why? It's called being 35. Maybe I'm already 35, except I don't like the taste of alcohol. I don't think people who go to bars read. Well, like, it's not, like, I wouldn't say, like, it's for people who want to, like, get hammered or anything, but, you know, like, a little nice glass of alcohol while you're reading your book. When the stabbing occurred, the only two people at the scene were the victim and the accused. And the accused himself has admitted to seeing the victim in her green overcoat sink to the ground before his eyes. Whining cats? Ooh, now that sounds good. This sounds so sad when I hear myself say I've only been to a cat cafe once. That number needs to be higher. I need to up that number. Those are rookie numbers. We need to up them. Although I don't remember how far the nearest cat cafe is. I don't I don't think it's very close. But that doesn't matter anything for the cats. Furthermore, we have heard from the inspector that the defendant then fled the scene. I came to a cat restaurant for 2 weeks. I did technically, yeah. I'm just sad that, like, I didn't get a pet more. I'm cheating on the dogs. They don't know yet. You're not supposed to tell them. Don't say it out loud. Twiddly da and twiddly do. The truth is, it's a pleasure to see. Oh, hello! Hello, Umbrella. How are you doing today? Well, I guess that already answers itself. You've been twiddly da and twiddly do. Although I don't think I understand what that means. They smell it on me? I don't know. Do they? Cause like I've had my fair share of like petting a cat on my way home, because some people just like let their cats roam outside, and then whenever I get home they just don't. Oh, someone's knocking on my door. Give me a second. The joys of living with other people. You tell them specifically not to bother you at a certain time, and then they do it anyway. Because one of my sisters is getting like a new desk, and so like they're looking online, and I specifically told my mom that if she finds a desk, I will help her buy it tomorrow, because she's incapable of buying things online by herself. So I told her I would do it tomorrow, and that was before I started the stream, and then okay, anyways. Maybe that's why you got such a chill welcome home from the doggos. Well, the thing is, if we're going off the fact of like smelling a cat on me, I don't think they would have smelled a cat on me. I did, because I spent 24 hours traveling, and so any cat scent on me would have worn off by then, I'm pretty sure. I do love to give scritches and pets, although I don't have any cats, so if I have no cat, they can't be upset. Alright, where was I? Did I read this line? I don't remember. I don't think so. I must say, I would have ample grounds to convict this man already. Oh dear. Even the judge appears convinced of Mr. Natsume's guilt now. Why did he have to run away like that? To be fair, if someone dropped dead, I would either freeze or run away too. And how are we supposed to believe in some phantom attacker that nobody could see? This is impossible. How can I possibly make a case for the defense? Mr. Naruhodo, this is no time for grumbling. We want to force the trial to continue. Yes, I know. I have to turn the tide. I must make the jurors change their minds. Well, 4 of them at least. Exactly. We have no choice but to forge forward. Oh, there was a really cursed image I saw. Because you know how in like with Phoenix, right? We have Mia as our little buddy sidekick, and like she's a spirit medium, right? And so someone who was playing this game tweeted that like based off the fact that like, you know, like Ryunosuke, who was our not Ryunosuke, what was his name? Was it Kazuma? I think it was Kazuma. Kazuma, who was our basically our mentor, who immediately died after. They thought that since that was also happening, based off of like Phoenix, right? And they thought Susato would also be like some sort of spirit medium. And then I think they used the game assets to like merge the two characters together because you know the Fae channeling technique, they like take on the appearance of the person who they're channeling. So all I'll say is Susato and like Kazuma merged into one being is a sight to see. It's very funny. You have the floor, Council. Begin your summation examination. I wonder if every trial is going to go this way, where we have to like turn the tide. Yes, my lord. I just need to keep this trial going somehow, whatever it takes. Come on, Ryunosuke, you can do it. You know, I've only read one, was it just one? I think I've only read one, what are they? Stories? Poems? I'm just gonna leave it under prose because I can't remember specifically what it was. But I only read one thing by Edgar Allan Poe, and it's because it was for school. I think it was Telltale Heart. And then I never read anything else by him. Maybe I should. Although it might be severely depressing. I don't know. I don't know what kind of stuff he writes. Okay. That little Nipponese oddity already admitted it himself, didn't he? Well, I could press everything, so. Excuse me, but aren't you? Yes, that's right. I was in the witness stand myself just 2 days ago. Yes, I had a feeling I knew your face. Or the side of it, anyway. I know him by, like, the chattering of his teeth, his little nom-noms on his cane. If I remember correctly, you're a banker, aren't you? You know what? It is funny how he's always looking off to the side. I wonder how his neck isn't broken already. Because mine would surely be if I had to, like, always stare off into the side. That's right. After the gold rush down under, I came back to London to work. It was all going swimmingly until you started fossicking around. Bruce Fairplay was a man of repute. Fossicking? That is, I'm adding that to my vocabulary. I'm yoinking that. Sorry? Don't think I've forgotten how you treated me the other day. You had me and that young hatter pegged as criminals. Oh, well, you know, water under the bridge. Now there's all sorts of rumors buzzing around, and the police have been badgering me non-stop. If I could turn back the clock. Well, anyway, I don't know about the hatter, but at least I'm in the clear now. I'm free to make up my own mind about who's guilty and who isn't. Thank goodness. Alright, maybe I might struggle to change this man's mind, given our awkward history. Oh dear. I wonder what's become of Mr. First now. You know what, Mr. Ladies First? I do wonder how he's doing. I think he'll pop up later. I feel like he'll pop up later. They do have a tendency to reuse characters. The banker's profiling his nonchalant side? Yeah. You know what? He's smart. If people can only see half of your face, you only have to... It's only like half the effort to stay cool, you know? They can't see the other side that's panicking. Okay, if you said that a woman in green collapsed before his eyes, it could only have been the victim. You're right that at the time of the incident, the defendant admits to having seen someone wearing a green overcoat walking ahead of him. Well, quite. That's precisely my point. Clearly, that someone wearing green was the victim. And clearly, that funny little Nipponese man with the disturbing mustache is the culprit. But let us not forget, madam, the defendant vehemently denies attacking the woman. Why, of course he does. If he admits to stabbing her, his life is over. The man is obviously a liver-faced coward. Honestly, claiming the woman simply collapsed before his eyes. But if that's a lie, as you're suggesting, do you not think he would have concocted something more credible? Oh, I really couldn't say. After all, you are foreign. Who's to say what goes through your funny little minds? I love good old prejudice. It makes me really feel like I'm in the, what is it, the 20th century? I don't know what time it is. I could tell you what's going through my funny little mind right now, but you wouldn't like it. I do declare the man has already made the admission. He himself has stated that there was nobody else around. Surely the conclusion is obvious. No one else could have possibly committed this awful crime. Ugh. If no one else could have done it, the accused must be the man. Really, it couldn't be more simple. Your argument is compelling in its simplicity, I must admit. Oh my, you were too kind, my lord. That went well. For her. I feel like it might have something to do with the books. Man wouldn't have gone around the houses on his way back from the bookshop, not in winter. Hold it! But you can't deny that there are other routes Mr. Natsume could have taken back from your books. Victorian asked, yeah, it's around that time. Oh yes, like you drew on the map, you mean. What was it? Calabash Road or something? Precisely. But it seems to me that what counts is whether the little Japanese fellow actually went that way or not. Well, yes, that's true. And at the moment, there's no proof that shows he did, is there? Well, yes, that's true as well. And as I understand it, the accused himself doesn't remember which way he went, does he? Well, yes, that's annoyingly true. Winter nights are dark and cold, so the way I see it, you'd want to get home as quickly as possible. Well, yes. Why is all this true? So, really, the only thing that makes sense is that he went home along Briar Road. I'm supposed to be convincing you here. I've given it a lot of thought, you know. I didn't just make up my mind on a whim that he did it. I mean, if there was some logical reason why he might have gone to the Calabash Road way, it'd be different. I'd be happy to reconsider my position in that case. Honest, I would. A reason why Sosuke-san might have taken the longer way home. Yes, a good reason. I don't imagine you'll be able to sway this young man's opinion without one. I need to take a look at the map again, because I don't remember where anything is. Okay, local map. Okay, so he bought books from here. And so supposedly this way is the longer road? No! Thank you for the follow, JR Boys. Surprise, I'm a VTuber now. Anyways. Okay, so we have his receipts. He bought books from here. We have I don't know, is this really the longer, well, yeah, that is technically the longer way home. I don't think I have any proof right now. Attacked from behind, I don't really have anything to refute that. They don't care, can we just wrap this up? I do want to ask about this.
Hold it! Sorry? Fold it, you say? Fold what?
I love old people, they're so funny in these games. No, what I said was hold it. What I wanted to ask was, do you visit your books often?
I like the old books they have in there, yes. I enjoy reading them over a nice cup of old tea. That's my daily routine, you see. Same thing every day, including the day you're all talking about.
Surprised you remember me from my IGN. Yeah, I don't know. Just something stick in my brain. And at what time did you visit your books on the day in question?
Well, I was picking out books in there all afternoon, and it would have been just before 5 that I left.
Okay, 5 o'clock. When did this man leave? Receipt does. I don't think this has a timestamp, does it? 4:45. Oh my god, no, he was there. Okay, he was there. You should have seen him.
That's my daily routine, you see. Same thing every...
Oh, he said that. Just before 5, you say. Exactly when the victim was attacked. Are you sure about the time?
Oh, yes, no mistake there. I remember it well. I'm not about to forget that day in a hurry. Not after the dreadful time I had.
What do you mean?
Well, I was walking down Calabash Road when I slipped on the ice and dunked my head.
You poor man. Do you think he's wearing a hat to hide the bump on his head? Have you guys ever done that, slipped on ice? It's such a terrible feeling. I think the worst I've ever slipped on ice is in elementary school. My elementary school was on a hill. And so one of the ways to get up that hill was like a set of stairs. And I believe they were made out of concrete. No nothing on there. Like there were no like mats or whatever it is, like there wasn't anything grippy on there. So one winter day, I remember the stairs were like covered in ice. And I don't remember how old I was, but I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to be fine. My first step, I slip and I go down one flight of stairs. And my butt hurts. My sisters are laughing at me. But I get up and I'm like, okay, I fell once. Okay, I'm fine now. A second step, I slip. And I slip down another flight of stairs. And rinse and repeat. And that happens until I reach the floor. And so I slip down all the stairs. One of those I walked 15 miles uphill in the snow both ways type of stories. Yeah, pretty much. That was the only time I slipped on those stairs too, though. I don't know what was happening. The universe was out to get me. You know what? I think I'm just lucky that I don't think anybody else was around when that happened. It was just like my family. So nobody else saw me slip and fall on my ass like 10 times.
It's always worse after the snow stopped falling. That's when it's most slippery.
He's right. That's true.
Knocked myself clean out, I did. I really thought my number was up.
You would think... How... I feel like if you slipped and like knocked yourself out in the winter, I guess depending on how cold it is, you could probably die of hypothermia, couldn't you? Wait a minute. Let me get this straight. This happened on Calabash Road.
That's right. I live in Cornpipe, you see. Heading down Calabash Road is the quickest way for me to get back from your books.
Juror number 6, I must insist that you add that information to your formal statement. It may very well be extremely significant.
Sorry? Extremely sick? No, I'm quite all right now.
It sends a shiver down my spine to hear the members of the jury so convinced of Mr. Natsume's guilt. But I can't help feeling that some of their opinions are rather subjective. I agree. It's the irrelevance of what some of them are saying that sends a shiver down my spine. Still, at least some of their assertions don't actually incriminate Mr. Natsume of anything. That's something. We must use that to our advantage, Mr. Naruhodo. Cunningly. Yes, you're right. Let's listen to the jurors again carefully. And if any of their assertions are at odds, I'll pit them mercilessly against each other.
Yes, don't hold back. Pit them all against each other.
I think Susato just wants to see blood in the courtroom, if I'm honest. Okay. I think the only two people I haven't pressed is the maid lady and this guy.
Hold it!
Whatever's the matter, young man?
You're the wife of Mr. Garrett, aren't you? The landlord who rents Mr. Natsume his room.
The master's wife? Where'd you get your idea, sir? I'm the maid. The maid, you understand.
She's keeping up that charade? This is going to be awkward. Why didn't you mention this yesterday? That you'd been selected for the jury in this trial, I mean.
Well, I was told not to mention it to anyone until the day of the trial, you see. It was in the letter I received. The instructions were very clear, so I'm afraid I had no choice.
I see. Anyway, Mr. Natsume, the defendant, takes lodging in your master's house, doesn't he?
Yes, that's right. Although he's only been in a little over a week now.
And in that time, surely you must have taken stock of his character. Does Mr. Natsume look like the kind of man who would commit a crime such as this?
Oh my goodness me, yes. He's just the sort.
What?
Spending all his time in that dark and dingy room, sporting that unscrupulous mustache. The man never speaks, and don't get me started on those shifty eyes while the neighbors are talking about him. I've heard them, you know. People think he must be building a bomb in there or something.
Oh dear. Poor Mr. Natsume. How could people say such things about him? He's just a harmless bookworm, nothing more. Well, you just called him a worm, so... Anyway, I'd better be careful about inviting this maid to speak. She said enough damning things already. Yeah, I don't know, something suspicious about her. I haven't figured out what, though.
Hold it!
A man's life is on the line here, sir. This will take as long as it takes.
Don't get clever with me now, son. My life's on the line too, and so is my family's.
Ah,
Likes of you wouldn't understand, but a laborer like me can't afford to take time off. If I don't work, I don't eat, and neither do the wife and kids.
oh, I see. That must be very hard.
I go to the union every morning to find out what needs doing. If you're late and the work's taken, it's tough. This time of year, there's water and gas supply pipes bursting left, right, and center. They're after cheap labor to get the roads dug up to fix it. It's a hard slog from dawn till dusk it is.
So, you were out digging up the roads on the day of the incident as well, were you?
That's right. In fact, if I remember rightly, it was just round the corner from where it all happened. By that old bookshop it was.
What? Another coincidence.
That's right. Meersham Street it was.
Meersham Street. On the map, Mr. Naruto, there are only 3 named streets. Juror number 5, I need you to add that information to your formal statement, please.
What's the point in that? Can't we just get this business over with now?
Please, sir, it's important.
Fine, I'll do it then.
Hey, I was digging up Meersham Street from dawn till dusk. Where is that? Let's see. Meersham Street is here. So he was around here. Old man was walking down this way. And so we're trying to prove that Natsume went this way and not that way. So one or the other should have seen him. I don't remember what it was about this. Oh, right, this was the knife that stabbed the lady. Am I missing something, Umbrella? Pipes busted and the road was in construction. Oh, you're absolutely right. He couldn't have gone that way because they were doing construction. So he probably had to go this way. Oh, you're so smart. Okay, knocked myself clean out. Ooh, I forget that this game has wonky controls. Like the back button doesn't work, and so I have to scroll and not click on the back button because it doesn't work. The back button is a lie. Okay. So I'm going to pit you against this man. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Objection. Fight, fight, fight. Those two statements are clearly at odds with one another. Oopsies. Should I have saved?
At odds, counsel. Explain yourself.
Please don't point. It wasn't me, I swear. What? I just wanted to get this done and dusted.
Well, juror number 3.
Oh, me, sir. What? What do you mean?
Juror number 5's words just now are extremely significant. Let's take a moment to consider the implications of what's been said on our map of the local area. On the day in question, Mr. Natsume visited this bookshop to purchase a number of secondhand books. And on the same day, we now know that there were works being carried out on Meersham Street, making it impassable. Which means that the defendant's route home could not have taken him along Meersham Street and down Briar Road.
Oh, yes, of course. What do you think, sir? Well, yes, you can't argue with that, really, can you? You must have had a good 2 yards or more of the pavement up.
Oh, hello, Gold. How have you been doing? Long time no see.
Every gentleman and gentlewoman that came along had to turn back and go the other way.
So the only conclusion is this. The defendant must have taken the longer route back to his lodgings.
Yes, I suppose he might have. I suppose that must have been right, eh?
Juror number 3, you said the following. The man wouldn't have gone around the houses on his way back home, on his way back from the bookshop. But we see now that he had no choice. Oh! Wait! Oh! Hey, hold on. That old man, he's wearing a green jacket, right? He's wearing a green jacket. And it was dark. And old man slipped on ice and fell down and conked his head and knocked himself out. What if he saw the old man fall down and he ran away and like that murder just happened to coincidentally happen? I could be wrong. I don't know. That's my theory for now.
My lord, Mr. Judge, sir, if I may.
Yes.
I don't think in all good conscience that I can say the man's guilty now. Yes, I'd like to see this trial continue so we can get to the bottom of what really happened.
I wish real court worked like this. People just like spamming balls of fire into a scale.
What about you, sir?
Who? Me?
Well, all right then. If there's a hole in the prosecution's argument, it should be filled in, that's what I say.
They were on the same path. Yeah, the old man and Natsume should have taken the same path home. And that was basically right before the murder, so I don't know. Could have been that. We'll see.
Well done, Mr. Naruhodo. That was wonderful.
Well, we've managed to change a couple of minds at least. It strengthened our position somewhat.
Yes, and it'll prompt the other members of the jury to reconsider their stance as well. They'll be asking themselves if their current leanings are really right or not. Now, if only we could just identify one more clue or discrepancy that would make them stop doubting Mr. Natsume. We might be able to tip the balance completely.
Yes, that's exactly what we've got to do. Van Zieks is looking to bring this trial to an early conclusion. That's what we have to prevent by whatever means we have at our disposal. I guess you could say Van Zieks likes to finish early. I don't think he found that very funny.
Thank you, Counsel. On with the summation examination, please.
Yes, my lord. Okay, so I definitely fuck me. I forget I have to scroll. So I'm definitely not going to be able to change Fairplay's mind. What was it? I have to change 4 of their minds. So there's 2 more. I think I could probably change her mind and the old man. I think those are the 2 people I have to turn around, because it's definitely not the maid and it's definitely not Fairplay. They both hate me. So yeah. Let's see. Wait. Guys, they look exactly the same from behind. No fucking way. Wait, see, this is the silhouette of the lady that died, right? Right. Okay. Keep that in your memory and burn that into your brain, okay? For like the next 5 seconds. Look at this man. They're even both wearing pink. Oh my god. I don't know how I didn't realize this before. Oh my god. Okay, that's what it is. Okay. This is great. This is so funny. I don't know how to prove this though. Do I show him the picture? Cuz like this totally could be him except without the knife. Right? They well, minus the hair, but they would look exactly the same from behind. And he also went to a bookshop. So, you know, he would have also been carrying books. I don't know how I'm supposed to prove this though. I don't think I can pit them against each other because otherwise it I don't know if there's enough of a connection. I think I might have to pit them against each other. I think that's my only option. Let me just save really quick. But I think that's the way to go. I keep forgetting what I'm not supposed to save. I think it's that one I'm not supposed to save over. I think that top one's my autosave. Yeah, okay. Episode 1. Oh, we'll go here. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Okay, you could have been the only victim, you say. Well, this man right over here kind of looks like a woman dressed in green.
Objection.
I can't wait to see how this goes. Those 2 statements clearly show a flaw in the juror's reasoning.
A flaw? What are you talking about, Counsel?
Well, juror number 2, juror number 6.
My, whatever do you mean, sir?
Look at the map. What do you mean? Lady was killed here. old man knocked himself out around here. What I'm thinking is like he saw the old man collapse and just booked it. Didn't even see that other lady die or whatever. I don't know. That's my current working theory, but we'll see how that goes. Cause I think he was so freaked out by this man slipping and falling, like he thought he died or something, that he did say he ran all the way home. So, I don't think he probably even spared a glance at Briar Road.
I think perhaps the old man didn't hear you.
Unbelievable. It's not like I was loud or anything. There's at least one fact of which we can be sure here. The bookshop receipt found in the defendant's room clearly indicates that on the day of the attack, he had been to your books and purchased a number of second-hand titles. He then returned home on foot.
But the man says he has no recollection of his return journey.
That's correct. But what he does remember is seeing someone appear in front of him on the way. Someone in a green overcoat who suddenly collapsed on the pavement before his eyes.
Yes, we're all aware of this. The poor young woman who was stabbed, obviously.
Objection.
She is quaking. Can we really be sure of that, madam?
My, whatever do you mean?
I'm sure you heard juror number 6's account of what happened to him that day. That same afternoon, there was somebody else apart from the victim, who was wearing a green overcoat and who fell over on the icy streets in the neighborhood.
Oh my.
My goodness, you mean?
That's right. I'm referring, of course, to hard of hearing juror number 6.
Are you really suggesting that the person in the green overcoat whom the defendant saw collapse in front of his eyes was the jolly old gentleman at the end of the bench here with me today?
That is entirely possible, yes. After all, the old man has a somewhat similar build to the victim.
Oh, look at that.
My goodness me.
Sorry, you need a pee?
Oh man. Just pee right now in the courtroom. Assert your dominance. And crucially, we know precisely where the old man in the green overcoat fell.
On Calabash Road.
Therefore, if the person who Mr. Natsume saw collapsing in front of him was in fact juror number 6, it means the defendant must have taken the long route back to his lodgings. And if that's true, then clearly, the crime scene on Briar Road where the woman was stabbed was not on his way home.
Oh my.
You idiot old man. If you had been so daft as to be roaming about there, we'd have boxed this off hours ago.
Oh, really? What were you thinking wearing such a befuddling coat?
What did you say to me? Is it a crime for the elderly to walk the streets these days? Is it a crime to slip over on the ice? Is it a crime to keep up with the latest styles and wear a beautiful green overcoat, is it?
That sounds very much like old people complaints.
My lord, I do hope it won't cause any inconvenience, but...
You'd like to change your leading, I presume.
I do declare that I would. I should like to call for a verdict of not guilty.
Thank you.
And I would too.
What?
Is it a crime to change your mind, is it? Well...
His sprite changed so fast from like angry to like, you know, serene old man. Take that, Van Zeeks. You and your dumb wine glass.
Well, that summation examination has concluded with a rather large shift in opinion. The eyes, 2, the nose, 4. So the notes have it. Not guilty, they say. Which means we no longer have a consensus among the members of the jury. The trial will continue.
Objection!
Could it seem churlish of me to drink from my hallowed chalice moments after raising an objection? Only to crush it in disgust. Pray forgive the discourtesy.
Lord Van Zeeks?
It seems I must retract my earlier remark.
What do you mean?
I mistakenly credited these jurors with intelligence by describing them as insightful. Yet we have just witnessed them falling for a cheap trick performed by an Eastern entertainer. Eh?
Whatever do you mean?
Objection.
I haven't tricked anyone. Everything I've said is the truth.
Indeed. Stalwart juror number 5 was undoubtedly repairing the road, as he claims. I believe you said it was a good 2 yards of the pavement which you had excavated, sir. That's right. Took me the whole day and they paid me a measly 2pence for it. Now, my learned Nipponese friend, tell me, do you have any notion of the distance that 2 yards represents?
Well, if I'm honest, I don't have a clue, no. 2 yards is a little less than 2 meters. Less than 2 meters? That's not much at all.
In other words, a distance readily vaulted by anyone of moderate vigor. Would you not agree, my stalwart friend? Eh? Me? Well, I can't say you're wrong, no.
What?
And did you perchance erect a sign to prevent pedestrians from passing the site of your works? I wouldn't dream of it. What a waste of time. No coaches would have had a hope of passing anyway, and we just turn any gentlefolk back when they come. Kids just jump right over us all the time. The accused is no gentleman as far as I can see. I have little doubt, however, that he could spring over a 2-yard trench in his meanderings around town.
I mean, he was carrying books, but I don't know, I guess it's still possible.
Ah. Is that true? Is it?
God, I can't English, what the heck?
The incontrovertible truth is that the books just purchased by the accused were found at the scene. There can be no doubt that on his way back to his lodgings, Mr. Natsume walked down Briar Road.
Crushed in a single sentence.
And old man.
Old man? You can talk?
You say that at around 5 o'clock on the day in question. You slipped and fell on Calabash Road. Pray, was there a suspicious-looking Nipponese behind you at the time?
Can't say as I remember.
You don't remember?
How about a wager, my learned friend? You say it was this old man that the accused saw. But I would lay 1,000 to 1 against you being able to prove it.
Order! Order! Lord Van Zeeks, explain yourself.
My lord,
If you had such a trenchant argument up your sleeve, why in the world did you not proffer it during the summation examination?
I wanted to give this young foreign student the sightseeing experience he no doubt came for. I wanted him to see for himself how the opinion of the jury is so readily swayed. But my hospitality has its limits, and they have been reached, I feel. So, my learned friend, today's sightseeing tour of London is now over.
What are you talking about? He left before 5. Poe left at 4:45. Yeah.
My lord. The prosecution requests permission to call its next witness to the stand.
Granted. Bailiff, bring forth a witness.
It's next witnesses?
Mr. Naruhodo, do you not remember? We've been told on several occasions that there were eyewitnesses to the incident.
Yes, I remember. One of them being a Scotland Yard policeman, no less.
I'm afraid that's likely to be the prosecution's next witness.
All right. No matter who Van Seeks brings to the stand as his witness, no matter what they say, I believe in Sosuke-san. I know he's innocent. And I'll keep believing to the very end, until this battle is over. To be continued. Oh no. Oh wow. He's so hippie.
Witnesses, please state your names and occupations for the court.
He's chewing on his like helmet. Okay. That's cute. They're wearing matching scarves. You don't think? I don't know. I feel a connection. Maybe they're related. Also, poor him. His hat is like dented, and I think that's duct tape. Did they have duct tape back then? I don't know. Maybe they're just cloth bandages, but like, yeah, his helmet has seen better days. What? She just yanked on his scarf and choked him a little bit.
Constable Riley beat, sir. Nothing to report on the street, sir.
Just back to sleep.
And I'm Mrs. B. Patricia's my name. I'm proud to say I'm this young town hero's wife.
Oh, okay, yeah, they're married. Okay, yeah, okay. That makes sense. Okay, his name is Rolly, her name is Patricia. I'm trying to see if there's any significance in that, and right now I can't think of anything. Oh, also heads up, we have an ad break in 5 minutes. Let me just reset my tracking. There we go. What's the story here?
Well, in truth, we've not been married long. In fact, we celebrated our first anniversary only the other day.
So, like, 1 year, 1 month, 1 week, 1 day, like 1 hour? How long have you guys been married? I'm gonna assume 1 year, right? That's normally when people celebrate their anniversaries every year. No, it was your husband I was asking about. He seems tired.
Oddly surprising. Whilst being an honorable occupation, patrolling the beat is the most demanding work in the world.
Oh, really? I'm sure I've heard that before, actually.
Indeed, apart from rare days off, our gallant officers trudge some 20 miles a day, you know. They patrol boarding houses and pubs, collect taxes, survey the streets, check that meters are reading true. And they're responsible for keeping the streets clean and lighting and extinguishing our street lights.
There are a number of items on that list that don't sound much like policing duties at all.
I wouldn't just be falling asleep on my feet. I'd have collapsed long ago. His cheeks are flushed, not a sign of sleep deprivation but intoxication. You know what? He could be drunk for all we know.
But it says without saying that a policeman's primary duty is the apprehension of criminals.
Or who knows, maybe they're not married at all and she just keeps him drunk to placate him. Keep him by her side.
Even when he's off duty, a constable is expected to investigate and resolve any crimes on his beat.
I don't remember, but isn't that like the 20 miles thing or whatever it was they mentioned? I'm pretty sure that's like a quota. Like that's a thing they have to do, right? Every day.
For the London Bobby is a man of honor.
I don't know. And a man of slumber.
On the day in question, this man and his wife were walking down Briar Road in the opposite direction, and they witnessed the incident as it occurred. Is that not correct, Mr. and Mrs. Beat?
Oh wait, they're called... okay.
That's right, sir. Isn't it, Rolly?
She gonna yank on his scarf again?
Constable Riley Beat, sir! Nothing to report on the street, sir!
What a great witness he's going to be.
Very good. I'd like to hear your formal testimonies now, please. You will tell the court exactly what you saw on the afternoon of the incident.
Yes, sir!
Alright, what do they have to say?
It was our wedding anniversary, and Rolly was taking me out for a meal. There was no time to change after work. Anyway, two silhouettes appeared out of the fog on the pavement in front of us. All of a sudden, one of them just collapsed on the floor, and the other scattered something before running off. We ran straight over, of course, and then went for help at a nearby police box. It was definitely that Japanese man at the dock. Rolly and I both saw him as clear as day.
Didn't she say it was foggy?
Well, that is extremely compelling testimony, I must say.
Oh dear. This policeman and his wife are claiming to have positively identified Mr. Natsume at the scene. If their testimony is true, the alternative course of events that you established in the summation examination will be quashed.
It's death knell, in fact, because that alternative was never viable in the first place.
What an unfortunate bad chancing. Not your wedding anniversary, too. Oh, I know. But I still managed to go out for the evening with my man. I thank the Lord for that.
Yeah, thank Lord.
Gosh, the life of a London Bobby sounds very hard indeed.
Indeed. However, this cross-examination will be over in minutes. You may well have time to rest this afternoon.
What do you mean by that?
My learned friend, the witnesses saw the face of the man fleeing the scene. They are testifying under oath that it was without doubt the accused Mr. Sosuke Natsume. And one of these witnesses is a policeman no less, so you appreciate the gravity of the situation, I'm sure.
Except that the man's so tired, his wife has to do all the talking.
Enough preamble. Counsel for the defense. Commence the cross-examination, please.
Yes, my lord. Okay, I think this is a good time to run that ad break. And then we will come back and start this cross-examination. So I'll see you guys in 3 minutes. But yeah, I swear to God, she said it was foggy. And then she said she saw his well, I guess even with fog, you can still see somewhat in front of you, can't you? Let's see. I don't think I have anything in the court record as of this moment. Also, one thing that popped into mind is that the reason the armband keeps slipping, I don't know, is it adjustable? I never actually checked. Oh no, he could tighten it. I guess it's just like a little fidgeting thing that they created then. Because, is it? Yeah, I don't know. I think he could possibly make it tighter if he wanted to. Because I was wondering why it always slips down his arm and like the reason my brain came up with was because Kazuma had bigger arms and therefore this armband would like not fit very well on Ryunosuke's arm. Have they been added to the people yet? Oh yeah, there they are. Patricia Beat, 21, wife of Constable Broly Beat, who is a witness of the incident. She's relatively recently married and fiercely proud of her policeman husband. You know what? Good for her. I don't know. What do you consider recently married? I guess, is a year recently married? I don't know. He does look drunk in this picture, though. A devoted London Bobby who witnessed the incident while walking down the street with his wife of a year, Patricia. Okay, so they were married for a year. Olive green. I can't get over. Sorry, Olive, you're just very rotund. You very much, she does look like an olive. Victim of this case, the wound didn't prove fatal. Right, I forget, she's not dead, she's just unconscious. And we got Van Zeeks. Herlock Sholmes, I miss him. When is he coming back? Oh, he's older than Van Zeeks? Okay. We do have Gyarados. I hope his lap is okay. Amount of times she's poured tea on his lap. We got Iris. Love Iris. She's so cute. Strong heart. Susato. I'm surprised. Where was I going with that? I don't remember. My train of thought has left me. I think I was gonna say I'm surprised that, like, Ryunosuke's not on this list. Oh no, not autoplay. I don't want to hit autoplay by accident. We got like supposedly 20 seconds of ads left. Although they could be done by now. Who knows? Okay, so even if they were doing construction, it was like yay big and people could jump over it. So we have to somehow prove that these people didn't see his face. Cause, I guess she couldn't have been, I don't know, could she have been coming also back from the bookshop? It's possible. All right. Two silhouettes appeared out of the fog on the pavement in front of us. One of them collapsed and the other scattered something before running off. Straight over. Wait for help. Is it the number of books? Because that's the only thing I can think of, is that the number of books doesn't add up. 1, 2, 3. No, that's 3 books. I can't quite see what's wrong with this. I'm sure I'll figure it out. You know what? That is a good question. How did they wind up around the body? Well, he said... Well, she said... Then the other scattered something before running off. So I think the books were purposely placed around the body. I'm not quite sure. I think I'll just have to press them on everything.
Hold it!
No time to change after work, you say. Are you also a member of the police, Mrs. Beat?
Oh no, sadly not. It's a job for strapping young men only. Women and children and the elderly can't even apply.
Well, I think you can probably see why children and the elderly can't do the job, can't you?
I think Broly looks ever so handsome in his uniform. It suits you down to the ground, doesn't it, darling?
Hold on.
What? I just finished my beat. Pat and I were heading back to the station. I was actually planning on getting changed there.
Is he talking in his sleep? This is creepy.
Oh no, really, I much prefer you in uniform.
Do you think perhaps she married him only because he's a police officer?
Sometimes I don't recognize you when I see you in plain clothes.
Oh dear, that doesn't seem healthy.
Kindly adhere to the point. You were going for a meal after you had finished your beat for the day, correct?
That's right, sir. Although I was fit to drop, to be honest, after spending the whole day on my feet. But policing is my life, sir. As long as I'm the proud owner of this, I'll serve my city and my queen to the end.
What's that now?
My warrant, sir. Proof that I'm a London copper. It has the noble founding principles of the force written on it, as a reminder to all us policemen of our sworn duty. To patrol the streets of London town and uphold the peace of the common man. Sir, for such a noble cause, I cover 20 miles every single day without fail and without a grumble. Because I know that the plodding in my boots is all Londoners need to hear to feel safe and secure.
So, fighting crime doesn't appear to come into it then.
But sir, just on that one particular day, I was looking forward to celebrating my wedding anniversary. Mrs. Beat puts up with the lot being married to a bobby like me. I wanted to show my dear wife how much I care.
Where's the spotlight? There's supposed to be a spotlight and like the background is supposed to fade to black. Women do love a man in uniform. She seems to especially love a man in uniform. I think she loves just the uniform.
Oh, Pat.
Oh, Rolly.
Oh, what a charming couple. Their young love is such a joy to behold.
If a little over the top, perhaps?
And then, kindly describe what happened next.
Okay, two silhouettes appeared out of the fog. Two silhouettes.
That's right. They were coming towards us, walking up Briar Road in the opposite direction. There was a rather plump figure followed by a scrawny, thin-looking man.
That does sound exactly like the victim is pictured in this print, and like Mr. Natsume.
Yes, unfortunately it does.
And you're certain that at that time there was nobody else nearby?
Oh yes, quite certain. It was dark, but there are streetlights on Briar Road, you see. There was nobody else around at all. Isn't that right, my darling?
What? Ah, yes, that's right. Of course, there was light fog on the ground. But Briar Road is dead straight and you could see a fairly long way down the pavement. Then there's the street lighting as well. I didn't see any...
Before sleep takes a firm hold, your answer please, Mr. Beat. Are you quite sure of what you've just said?
Yes, sir. As a cop who spends all day, every day, keeping watch on the streets, I'd swear to it, sir.
Yeah, look how all shiny-eyed she goes.
I'm as sure as my love for Patricia is true.
Oh, Pat.
Oh, Rolly.
I think I'm gonna like die a little bit inside every time I have to do that. They're still maintaining there was no one else around other than the victim and the attacker. It's starting to seem like that must be how it really happened.
It's beginning to seem like there's nowhere to run.
Well, that didn't stop Mr. Natsume, did it? He fled the scene all too convincingly.
Thank you. I believe we have a reasonably clear idea of the situation just before the incident now, and what happened in the crucial moments that followed.
Okay, one of them collapsed, the other scattered something before running. Scattered something. What do you mean by that?
Oh, well, I couldn't quite make out what it was at the time. But then we got closer, we realized what it was. And didn't we, darling?
Yes, that's right. It was some old.
Oh god, my throat.
It was some old books.
Like every time she does that, it just sounds like she's breaking his neck. Oh my goodness. I think she would make a good chiropractor. Just, you know, just.
I see. Old books. Yes, sir. The culprit had dropped a number of them all around where the victim lay on the pavement.
Indeed, as clearly pictured in this photographic print.
So, could there have been more that fell? I don't know.
That rotten Japanese man did that when he did the deed.
Let's not forget that it remains to be established that the defendant was indeed the attacker.
But we saw him. It was the man at the dock without question, sir. The mustache, the hunchback, the cat-like eyes, the taut mouth, the snub nose, everything.
Any more insults you want to throw in?
That's right. He looked down at that poor defenseless woman with those terrifying, intense eyes. And then suddenly threw his books onto the pavement and ran away.
I see. This is tough. They seem as though they're telling the truth here.
May I remind the court that this unambiguous testimony comes from a policeman and his wife. Now please, continue.
Yes, sir.
Okay, ran straight over and went for help at a police box. Was it your husband who went to fetch help?
No, I went. I may not be a police officer myself, but I'm the proud wife of one after all. Isn't that right, my darling?
Yes, that's right. I asked Mrs. Beat to go. I was off duty by that point. But a Bobby's never truly off duty, of course, so I felt obliged to stay and guard the scene.
Very laudable, Mr. Beat. Preserving the scene of a crime is a task of considerable importance.
That's why I sent Patricia, you see. I told her where to find the right police box.
Forgive my ignorance, but what do you mean exactly by the right police box?
Depends on a crime's location, you see, as to who deals with it. Where the woman was stabbed wasn't actually on my beat. So I told Patricia the way to the police box for the beat that incident fell under so she could go report it.
I ran there as quickly as I could and asked for help from the Bobby on duty. There's nothing more potent than a young couple in love working together, you know.
It's too much PDA for me. It's a little too mushy for me.
And thanks to your swift response, the case was quickly resolved. The actions of two model citizens.
Oh, please, you're making us blush, isn't he, darling?
Yes, sir. What Patricia said, sir.
Let's move on, shall we? Okay, there's definitely that Japanese man. I'm getting a little eepy myself. Oh my goodness, it's only like 9:30.
Hold it!
But surely you wouldn't have been able to see his face by the light of the gas street lamps, would you?
We absolutely could. Us Londoners have exceptional eyesight, I'll have you know.
Right.
The light from the street lamps was more than enough. And my husband already told you that the fog was only light, didn't he?
Yes, and what of the fog?
We're famous for it across the globe, I believe. But it's an absolute menace to those of us who have to live with it, of course. Oh, it is, isn't it? When it's thick, you can't even see the hand at the end of your own arm.
Yes, alright, I take your point. Now, could you stop shaking your husband about?
The constant fog makes our eyes very sharp, you see. That's why we can tell you for sure and certain that it was that little Japanese man we saw. Can't we, darling?
Yes, it was the accused, and no mistake. The mustache, the hunchback, the cat-like eyes, the taut mouth, the stub nose, unmistakable, sir.
As far as this couple's testimony is concerned, there can't be any question. It was Sosuke-san they saw running away from the scene of the crime. So that's it, is it? That's their entire testimony.
What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo?
Well, I hate to admit it, but on hearing the testimony, it really does seem as though Mr. and Mrs. Beat saw what they say they saw. Mr. Natsume running away from the scene on Briar Road that day.
Yes, I feel the same.
So if that's true, where does it leave us?
The members of the jury are sure to call for a guilty verdict after this testimony.
Oh no. What do we do?
If Kazuma-sama were here,
What are you trying to say?
I think he would try to find a contradiction somewhere else within their testimony.
What do you mean, somewhere else?
Their statement about seeing Mr. Natsume is unequivocal. Calling that into question won't help. But if you could identify some other part of their testimony which appears to contradict the facts, you might be able to discredit them, to make the jury doubt if the pair's memory of the day is accurate.
Oh, right.
And put simply, we must focus on finding a discrepancy in these statements somewhere. If we don't, I'm afraid the trial may reach an early and unfavorable conclusion.
Why do I always seem to be so up against it?
Mr. Lawyer, sir, can I ask you something?
Oh, yes, of course. What is it?
Well, you keep asking us all these questions about everything we've told you, so... It seems like you don't believe our testimony, is that right? Is it? Well, out with it.
What? No. Oh, no, it's really not that at all.
My husband's a policeman, remember? And I know what I saw. I remember every last detail, everything, like, how I know what about the books the man dropped. I'd tell you the names of every single one I could. Every single one. And you dare to question how reliable my testimony is?
That will do, Mrs. Beat.
No, it won't do at all. That Japanese lawyer has no idea what I'm capable of. Even if I decide to forgive him for insulting us, don't think for a minute that really will.
Yeah, your sleeping husband terrifies me so much. I really didn't mean to cause offense. Please, put your husband's fists down.
Perhaps you would like the opportunity to supplement your testimony, Mrs. Beat. Might that appease you?
Is that why she's named Beat? Because she wants to beat me up?
you, my lord. That would settle things nicely. Wouldn't it, darling?
The 4 books. Okay, he only bought 3, but I'm gonna press. Yes, we know that there were books dropped at the scene of the crime. As you say.
Those purchased by the accused at the nearby second-hand bookshop on the day in question.
After I'd been to the police box for help, I decided to have a good look over the area for good measure.
She decided to just chill next to the unconscious body and read one of the books.
I'm a proud policeman's wife, after all. I did it for Rolly.
And what was your husband doing at the time? Oh, was he sleeping?
Oh, he was lying face down in the snow, getting some well-deserved rest. He works ever so hard, you know. Ever so hard, don't you, darling?
Interesting way of guarding the scene of the crime.
Well, Mrs. Beat, seeing as you've regaled the court with tales of your powers of recollection, would you be so kind as to recount the titles of the books you've observed at the scene?
3 books. Yeah. He only bought 3, but she says there were 4.
I'd be happy to. Now, are you all listening? There was the picture of Monsieur Somebody, other, and What's Yearnings. Then there was, a meal for someone, and the last one was definitely the Thingamummy something.
Oh, the Thingamies. Yeah, Thingamies.
You see?
Yes, I see there are 1 or 2 holes in your memory.
Oh, well, they were along those lines, I'm quite sure.
These were indeed books found at the scene with titles along those lines, as you put it.
Well, what did I tell you? So I think it's very mean the way you've been implying that my testimony can't be trusted. Don't you agree, darling?
Anyone who upsets my Patricia will have me to answer to.
Bro casually pulls out his revolver. I would not feel safe having him as my police. Although I suppose most of them could be like this because they must all be exhausted. She tampered with evidence in place of her husband. I don't think she tampered with evidence. I sincerely think Natsume wasn't at the scene of the crime. Like, I think this was somebody else.
Terrifying.
Yes, she really is. So that's it, is it? Okay. I think this is the same. Yeah, okay. I already know what the contradiction is, so we're just gonna skip. We're gonna skip until we can get back so we can do the contradiction. Because all we're trying to do is to prove that they couldn't have possibly seen Mr. Natsume. Or like that they couldn't be sure of who they saw. So yeah, he only bought 3 books, so it couldn't have been him. Let me present. Oh, Jesus Christ. You're gonna have to wait a little longer. It's not quite so late where I'm like a little delirious enough to be scared by a yeet. Book receipt. Present. So, you're saying that there were 4 books.
That's right. I remember all of them. Pictures of Monsieur Somebody.
I don't want to read this again. I'm sorry, Mrs. Beat. But there's a fundamental flaw in that statement of yours.
Oh no, what flaw?
Simply that at the scene of the crime,
There were only 3 books, not 4.
What?
This is the receipt from the bookshop where the defendant bought his books.
Your books?
Yes, and it details Mr. Natsume's purchases that day. But as you can see, only 3 books are listed.
Only 3? But no. No, that can't be. I remember seeing them. There were 4 books, I tell you. 4 dirty old books.
Oh, really? Have a good look at this photographic print of the scene of the crime. As you can clearly see from this evidence as well, there are only 3 books.
But I just don't believe it. I saw them there. I swear it. I saw them.
No, madam. I'm afraid your powers of observation cannot be relied upon. So it cannot be denied that though you say it was the defendant you saw, you could very well be mistaken.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
Objection!
It's plainly evident that it is your powers of deduction that cannot be relied upon, my learned Nipponese friend.
Oops. What?
What cannot be denied is that these 2 witnesses saw the accused running from the scene. A fact that you know very well you have no hope of disproving. So you've striven to avert attention from that by dint of some inconsequential discrepancies. Would that be fair?
He sees right through me.
But your plan has somewhat recoiled against you.
What are you talking about?
It's quite simple. Let me explain with a toast. To the policeman's wife and her entirely accurate testimony in every respect. You see, the matter is not up for debate. At the scene on Briar Road, a total of 4 books were most definitely found.
Objection!
But what about the photographic print? It only shows 3 books.
Quite right, only 3 can be seen in that print.
Are we gonna get a front view? That print? You mean to say?
Allow me to present another, one that shows the victim's hand.
You are holding out on me, Van Zeeks. How dare you? I don't believe it. It's the 4th book.
As you will observe, the 4th book was hidden from view in the original print by the victim's torso.
No. Oh, hello, Roderick. Thank you for the raid. What were you playing? Did you have a good stream? Sorry, I just read Muscle Mommy Enjoyer. Understandable. Valorant. Oh. My friends have been trying to get me to play Valorant, but like, I don't know, competitive shooting isn't too much of my thing. It's mainly Dave the Diver. Oh, how was that? You finally beat it? That's good. What's the, if you're able to like say it without spoiling too much or anything at all, like what's the main objective of Dave the Diver? Is it like, I don't know, to catch all the types of fish? Like, I don't know what the objective of the game is. Dive? Okay. So is it basically just to dive really deep?
Maybe once you reach a certain depth? Ah, okay. But yeah, once again, thank you for the raid. There's a lot of plot. Something for me to look forward to then. It is on my list to play. Super enjoyable. Okay, well that's good to hear. Well, I'm glad you had fun. It's always nice to finish a game, but I don't know, for me there's always that sense of what do I do now? My life has momentarily stopped and I don't know what to do with it. Wholly recommend it. Well, you know what? What is it? It's September. I think the Steam fall sale is supposed to happen sometime soon, or is it next month? I don't remember, but it's happening this season, so maybe I'll pick that up when that happens. Yes.
There, you see, look at that, look.
We're currently cross-examining these two witnesses. They're a married couple. They claim to have seen our defendant at the scene of the crime. And right now, I try to point out a contradiction that he only bought 3 books, but there were 4 at the scene of the crime. Yes.
It's just like I said, isn't it, my darling?
Yes, sir. Patricia's always right, sir.
I'm pretty sure you say she's always right because otherwise she'll, like, throttle you. And then the night with the game with Alan, it went horribly. No warm-up, nothing. Couldn't hit the broadside of a barn and our opponent's really good. That's too bad. Hate to keep it brief, but I must go to bed. Good night. Oh, thank you. I hope you have a good night as well. Sleep well.
Let us study the receipt for the books purchased by the accused on the day in question. Mrs. B, the titles once again, if you please.
Oh, yes, of course. The picture of Monsieur somebody or other.
The picture of Monsieur Lecoq.
Did I say that right? I'm just 12. Forgive me.
What's it, yearnings?
Canterbury yearnings.
A meal for someone.
A meal for Gabourou? I don't know, Gabourou.
How do I pronounce that? I don't know.
In fact, as the court has just heard, the witness remembers the book titles flawlessly, save for a few minor details. Mrs. Beat's powers of recollection can only be described as exceptional.
Did you hear that, really? The gentleman paid me a compliment.
Yes, sir. Flawless, sir. Patricia is flawless.
But there are only 3 books on the receipt, and Mrs. Beat mentioned 4.
There is nothing surprising about that. Clearly, the 4th book is that which is shown in this photographic print.
I'm sorry, Counsel, but does that not seem odd? Why should the 4th book be omitted from the receipt?
It's not odd at all, my lord.
Is it owned by the victim?
As the photograph clearly shows, the 4th book was found in the victim's clutches. In other words, it belongs to the victim.
The victim was holding her own book.
I wonder what became of that 4th book.
Obviously, it wasn't overlooked by the investigating officers at Scotland Yard. I have it here as evidence.
You will submit that and the aforementioned photographic print to the court, please, Counsel.
My pleasure, my lord.
Okay. I need to look at this book. There has to be something suspicious about it. Okay, what is it? A book entitled The Lion's Pride. Okay. Oh. Oh. What happened to this book? Okay, I'll look at that later. I'll look at this title first.
Let me see. It's a book entitled The Lion's Pride.
I'm afraid I don't know any English literature at all. So it wouldn't be something I've heard. Wait a minute. The Lion's Pride. That's strange. I think I've heard of a book by that name before. And very recently, too.
It's a title I recognize too, Mr. Naruhodo.
Is it a Sherlock Holmes book? But yeah, the burn mark. What is up with this burn?
Oh, look at this. The book has been badly burnt.
You're right. You'd never be able to read it in this state, especially not the latter pages.
What a terrible waste. Judging from the scorched edges of the paper, I think the damage must have occurred very recently.
And where do we know where a big fire happened? A book. Recently damaged by fire. Why does that seem to raise a red flag with me? Oh! Okay, it's definitely something happened at that house on that like 3rd floor. I don't think there's anything else I can look at on here. I think that might have been it. Yeah. The maid? Yeah. Because supposedly a fire happened there. There was even like, was it a rug or a carpet? Something was burnt. And then I think there was also a bookshelf. The prosecution rests. I have nothing further to add. What? You seem surprised, my learned friend. But your resistance until now has been in vain. Look. Entertaining, yes, but futile. The spurious longer route to the accused's lodgings that you tried to establish in your summation examination, and the attempted discrediting of the witness's powers of recollection in your cross-examination. Futile? I walked right into this, didn't I?
You see, everything we've said is true. Isn't that right, my darling?
Yes, Pat. Marry me, Pat.
Okay, you're already married, buddy. So, perhaps the ladies and gentlemen of the jury would like to reconsider their positions. Look at the 2 photos. I think you only see the front. It's still burned. Oh, she's not holding it. Wait, or is it her right arm? No, it's her right arm. Never mind. I don't see anything suspicious. Back's burnt. That's her right arm. Would have been hidden. I don't know. Looks okay to me so far. Should the court waste any more time on this Nipponese travesty? Or is the decision you have to make all too apparent already? You have heard all of the witnesses and seen all of the evidence. This trial has run its course.
Mr. Naruhodo, I'm afraid we're in a terribly precarious position.
I know, but if I fight back in the wrong way now, I could very well just make matters worse. Oh, that sounds like I need to save. That sounds like I need to save. Here we go. Look closely. I'll have to take another look. I am trying to look closely. Don't tell me. I'll figure it out eventually. Think, Ryunosuke, think. What do we do now? Well, we have to raise an objection.
Objection.
I'm not done yet.
Wait, I'm not finished.
No, my learned friend, it's over. That last cross-examination was your final chance to establish a credible defense, and you failed. The die has been cast. There is no more room for debate.
Well, it might be over as far as you're concerned, but I can't think of what to say.
If I may, Lord Van Zeeks. It seems somewhat boorish to close down the debate at this point.
Your insignificant little Eastern Isle must be a lawless hole indeed. For a lowly judicial assistant to have the audacity to intervene at a moment like this.
Oh. I am, to my shame, still a very inexperienced lawyer. So you'll have to forgive me, but I consider my assistant's advice essential and her opinions invaluable.
Mr. Naruhodo.
One of this land's great guiding principles is tolerance, so the court will hear you, madam.
Go ahead, Miss Susato. Please.
Very well. Pray, what insight can you give us? What have we all overlooked in this matter that you see fit to pursue further?
Well, the court has been presented with new evidence, but only after the last cross-examination finished.
I see. And you believe that this new evidence warrants further examination, do you?
Mr. Naruhodo? What do you think? It's just possible that this new evidence might be the decisive proof we've been waiting for. The judge is sure to ask the members of the jury to announce their learnings in a moment.
Or was it leanings? Yeah, I think it was leanings.
And of course, he's sure to ask you to explain what the crucial piece of evidence is and why. So we must take this opportunity to examine the newly presented evidence as thoroughly as possible.
Yes, I understand, and thank you, Miss Susato. This is it. Susato-san has managed to win us one last chance here. One last chance means many chances if you save scum. I can't let it go to waste. The defense wishes to present evidence, my lord.
Very well. Oh no, that's the wrong voice.
Very well. The defense may present one further piece of evidence. Evidence that apparently offers a profound insight into this case and has hitherto been overlooked.
You mentioned the position of the stone's umbrella, and I don't... Maybe I'm just a little too tired, but I don't see it. You mean like the stones on the ground? Like the pavement? Anyways. Evidence that offers a profound insight into the... Do we mean the book that has been burnt? Because that is the only thing I can think of. I think it has to be the fourth book. I can't think of anything else. It could be my badge. Show my badge, because that always works out. We're gonna go with the book.
Take that!
The evidence in question is what we can see from the newly presented photographic print of the crime scene. The fourth book, found in the victim's hand.
We have already discussed the fourth book at length. Other than it being in the victim's grasp at the time of the incident, no significance has been attached to it. Pursuing the matter further would be a flagrant waste of the court's time, as you well know.
Yes, I'm afraid, counsel, I must concur with the prosecution on this matter. When I afforded you this opportunity, you led the court to believe that the evidence in question contained a hitherto undiscovered clue. So I must insist that you elaborate, counsel. You will identify this clue at once. Do I make myself clear?
Oh, yes, my lord. It's,
Mr. Naruhodo, I believe the prosecution is trying to avoid a thorough examination of the evidence. Which means you may very well be on the right track.
yes, I think you might be right.
So, counsel, precisely where is the vital clue to this case which this fourth book conceals?
This burn.
Got it!
I would ask the court to observe the back of the book in question.
The back? What do you... Good gracious! It's been burnt to a crisp!
Yeah, someone was a little hungry, huh? So we have to ask ourselves, why was the victim clutching what is clearly an unreadable book? It is undeniably an extremely unnatural thing for anyone to have been doing.
Objection!
Unnatural, you say? And what of it, my Nipponese friend?
Oh,
Were I to concede the point, if it bears no relation to the case, there is nothing to discuss. So, should you wish to assert that this fire damage is some veiled clue as to what happened that day? Pray, do enlighten us all. What truth does this charred book hide?
well, you see, I didn't really think that far. A charred book. There's just one possibility here, which I can't quite bring myself to rule out. It's an outside chance, certainly, but worth a try. Alright, I'll explain my theory.
Don't keep us waiting any longer then, counsel. Explain this theory of yours. What are you suggesting that you can ascertain from the fire damage the sorry tomb has suffered?
I think it's owner, right? Or let me look at the court record. Let me look at the court record. Because the book belongs to the maid. Could be. I'm just trying to see what I can, like, because I have to show something. So I'm trying to figure out what it is. That's the case file. I think it has to be its owner, but just to be safe. I'm pretty sure it's the owner. My lord, the burn on the back of this book reveals a startling truth about the book's owner.
I beg your pardon? But we already know who the book belongs to. The victim was gripping it in her hand when she fell to the floor after all. It's obviously hers.
The question of how this book came to be in the victim's hand is yet to be answered. However, as to the question of who the book really belongs to and where it originated, the defense has very credible answers. The fire occurred at the house and now part of the damages is in the victim's possessions. Yes, and that is very suspicious.
Good gracious, how can you possibly?
Very well. I'll play along with this futile attempt to delay your inevitable demise. But do remember, the numbers of the jury may well burn you if your little gamble goes awry.
Counsel, the defense's response here is very likely to influence the final outcome of this trial. So tell the court who you claim is the owner of this burnt book.
I can't say the maid because she supposedly isn't married, so like she isn't the owner of the house. I'm gonna go with John. He's the landlord, okay? I'm gonna go with John. I think he has a thing for lions, doesn't he? Because he bought that lion statue. Let's go John. I could be wrong. The answer is that the book belongs to the couple who own the house where the defendant has his lodgings. Oh, I guess I could have also said the maid because it says couple. So I think either one would have been fine. A certain Mr. and Mrs. Garrideb. Garrideb?
The landlords.
And whether this is some extraordinary coincidence or some kind of fate at work, I don't know, but... Of all the people in London, one of the 6 chosen for jury duty in this courtroom today is none other than Mrs. Garrideb herself.
Oh my goodness. Me? I think you must be mistaken, sir. I'm not Mr. Garrideb's wife. I'm his maid.
Things would be so much easier if you would just drop the pretense. Alright then. How about a simple question for you? Have you ever seen this book in Mr. Garrideb's house?
I would never presume to know all of the books he keeps, sir.
Objection!
This is outlandish behavior. This woman is the accused's landlady, you say. You implicate this hard-working member of the public. You besmirch her without a shred of evidence. Your actions are unforgivable.
Trust me, man. You go to their house, there's a wedding photo of them together, okay? This is not mere conjecture. The defense happens to know that on the day in question, at almost exactly the same time as the victim was stabbed on the pavement below, another incident was taking place in the room on the top floor of Mr. and Mrs. Garrideb's house.
Good lord, what sort of incident, counsel?
Oh, the wrath of a woman. A fire, my lord.
Afraid to say it was. Happened in the blink of an eye, you know. The whole place filled with smoke. Couldn't see a bally thing. Didn't take long for the fire to spread, of course. The bally furniture started going up as well. Worst of it is, I lost my favorite book called The Lion's Pride. The Lion's Pride. By Jove, the very same title that's the subject of this debate.
Oh dear me.
Objection!
This is risible. All you've told the court is that a book by the same name was involved in a fire. In which case it would be reasonable to assume that it was burnt to ashes.
I'm getting hit with the sleepies. Oh my goodness.
And entirely unreasonable to infer that it magically removed itself to the scene of the crime.
Perhaps it would make more sense if I told you that the cause of the fire was marital discord. Without going into details, it appears that Mrs. Garrideb was considerably enraged. Apparently, she continued to attack Mr. Garrideb even amid the flames.
Oh, how awful. I can't even imagine being so horrid to the one you love. Can you, Rolly?
Absolutely not, sir. My Patricia would never raise a finger against me, sir.
Are you sure about that? Like, she has treated you rough in this courtroom, boo. Ah, yeah, there it is. Odd that, like, this is, like, how the fire traveled, right? But, like, the inner back of the book got burned? Like, I don't know, that's a bit weird. Because all the spines of these books seem to be facing out. But it was the inner back of the book that was burned.
Had all my favorite old novels in that case. But as soon as the fire got hold of them, that was it. Whoosh! Up in smoke. Then the wife started hurling things at me. There was I, back up against the window, under heavy enemy fire, incendiary...
I think I was made fun of because I couldn't say this word.
Incendiary books incoming 10 to the dozen.
The man had his back up against the window. He had burning books thrown at him. Goodness gracious! Are you suggesting that the book was thrown through a window and landed coincidentally at the scene of the crime?
Objection!
No, a thorough investigation of the surrounding area was conducted the very evening of the incident. There was no report of the Garrett's window pane being broken.
That's quite true. We also saw no sign of broken glass when we visited the Garrett household. But is it not conceivable that the window was open at the time and...
Not even remotely.
That's true, it was winter and it was really cold.
Let us not forget the season and the chilling weather that accompanies it. No Londoner would ever leave a window open in the middle of winter.
Does the defense postulate this scenario in all seriousness, counsel? Do you earnestly claim that the book found at the scene was a flaming projectile thrown by Mr. Garrett's wife?
I believe it's a possibility, my lord. Also, heads up, we have an ad break in 5 minutes. The window is directly next to where the fire originated. Pretty close, I would say. And you would think that would, like, fan the flames. Oh! Who was that? Oh.
That's quite enough. Well, I hope that everyone can see you for what you are now, you little foreign trickster.
I just realized that, Rolly and Patricia, their scarves are... I thought they had matching scarves? No, it's one. It's like one singular, really long scarf that's wrapped around the both of them. So, yeah, that's interesting. I didn't realize that until now. Which is, you know what, a little alarming. Like, I don't know, like... Hashtag say Rolly, like, he looks kind of trapped there, I'm not gonna lie.
You call yourself a lawyer, but you're just a coward, a mean coward.
Really?
Claiming that our little tiff set the whole neighborhood alight. Honestly. Implying that I'm merely posing as a maid for appearance's sake. How could you? It's nothing to do with this beastly case, not any of it. All you've done is sully our family's name.
No, I assure you that was never my intention.
Dragging an upstanding citizen's name through the mud, simply to divert attention from your failing defense.
Did you see the way that other guy flinched?
I should box your ears, that's what I should do. It's utterly unforgivable.
Too right. Here we go. How long have we sat here now, listening to this nippany spouting out his fancy foreign theories? But think about it. At the end of the day, the only person who could possibly have stabbed the victim is that little hunchback with the mustache. And he ran away... Blah, blah, blah. I cannot English. My eyes are glazing over. And he ran away from the scene too.
I do declare you're right.
It's true.
Yes, what did I tell you?
Makes sense to me.
Sorry, what's that? Well, it would appear that the ladies and gentlemen of the jury are once again in full agreement. What is your position, Lord Van Zieks?
In truth, my lord, I feel these have been unnecessarily protracted proceedings. But then one must always exercise patience in order to savor the best vintage.
I know I wouldn't like it, but maybe I should try wine, like just a little bit. No, wait. The mystery of the fourth book still hasn't been... He brought his feet out, guys. Quick, take a picture and upload it to, I don't know, it's not his bare feet, so upload it to like Wiki Shoes or something. Whatever it is people have.
If books are your predilection, my learned friend, study them on your own time.
Could you imagine if this stretch of silence just kept going? Like we just keep standing here staring at each other and like you don't say anything because you hope that if enough time passes, he'll just get like a leg cramp or something. That would be so bad, but really funny. Like doing this to be intimidating only to get like a leg cramp after and then you just die. What? No, forgive the discourtesy this time.
In that case, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will now state your individual decisions regarding the defendant's culpability for the court to hear.
Guilty.
Guilty. Guilty.
Guilty. Guilty. Guilty.
It is very, like, what is it? Why am I blanking on this word? Satisfying. It is very satisfying to see the of the flames. I'm tired. All I can do is explain in sound effects now.
Thank you for that unambiguous response.
That's twice now. It's over.
Mr. Naruhodo, don't give up.
Miss Susato.
Have you forgotten? The battle isn't over yet.
You're not suggesting.
Of course, the defense has the right to another summation examination at this point. You could still convince the jurors to change their minds. You have one more chance.
My lord, the defense asks to exercise its right to a summation examination.
Do you believe you still have tricks up your sleeve?
I don't intend to trick anybody. I intend to uncover the truth. This is no time to be downcast. As long as there's a chance, I have to stay strong and determined. I felt like such a main anime protagonist when I said that. Alright, once the next part of the game loads, I'm gonna run the ads. Save your current progress. Yes. I'll save it over in that one. Thank you. But yeah, if you look closely, their scarf is like one single... It's like connected. Anyways, I'm gonna do this so I don't accidentally skip dialogue. And I'm gonna run the ads now, and I will see you guys in 3 minutes. For those of you who do have ads. Oh, how many hours are we at right now? Only at 2 and already I feel so eepy. Ads equals bio break. Yeah, take the time to go pee. I should probably go pee. Also, hello, Gabe. You probably have ads right now. I'll say hello to you again once they're done. Unless you happen to be lucky and Twitch gives you no ads. You know, yeah, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I will be back. All right, I'm back. So you know what? If that book is from that room, then the only explanation is that it was thrown out the window, but the question serves, why was the window open? Because it didn't break. There's nothing to point to the fact that it broke, so we don't know why it was open. It was also winter. We'll have to see. I almost hit autoplay. I think in like the other Ace Attorney games where autoplay is where the court record button was, and like the muscle memory is too strong. Let's see. I also am still curious about the fact of why somebody would want to kill Olive Green. Because right now we have like, I suppose you don't really need a reason to kill somebody, do you? You could just do it if you wanted to. But normally there's a reason. The thing is, oh no, never mind. I was gonna say, I don't think the knife was stuck in very deep, was it? No, it was. What does it say? I don't think it goes into specific. Yeah. I'm also trying to figure out if the possible assailant is somebody we've already met, or if it's someone we haven't met yet. Because we know it's not Soski. But then again, all the people we've met so far who could like potentially be like of like slender frame. Well, it can't be these two. They were fighting at the time. And it couldn't have been these two because they were the ones who witnessed it. And so when you do process of elimination, the only person left who it could possibly be is Gregson, which I don't know. I don't think it's him. So I guess it has to be somebody who hasn't shown up yet. Also, welcome back. And hello, Gabe. How are you doing today? I said hi, but then I forgot that the ads were running.
I have considered the defense's counsel.
Oh, I read that wrong.
I have considered the defense counsel's request for a further summation examination of the jury. And I have determined that the court must uphold the defense's judicial right to this procedure. So, counsel, you will now proceed with your second summation examination. I presume the jury is ready, Mr. Foreman.
We are, my lord.
Very good. In that case, I must ask each of you now to state clearly and concisely for the court the grounds on which you find the defendant guilty of this crime.
I am facing a dilemma. I am cold, but I am also sleepy. So, I could I have a heating pad that I could turn on to warm myself up a little bit, put on a jacket. But the problem is, the warmth will make me a little sleepy. As I'm saying this, I'm already turning it on, so. But if I'm cold, I'm still gonna be sleepy. So you know what? Either way, I'm just gonna be sleepy. Or maybe I'm actually just part hamster. Isn't it? I think it's hamsters that like hibernate when it's cold, or like they'll like go to sleep if it's cold. Something like that.
The accused left behind evidence at the scene, didn't he? Those 3 books of his.
If there was some novel alternative explanation about how the victim was stabbed, I might reconsider.
Okay, so an alternative explanation about how the victim was stabbed. I mean, I don't know. It's like, it's pretty in there. Stabbed. There's nothing in the case file that mentions it in detail. It just says that there was a single stab wound. It's baking hot where I live. What region do you live in where it's cold now? I am up in Canada, so it's already started to cool down over here. Like, I think now, like, the highs are like mid-20s for the days. And it started to like rain a bit, so yeah. It has considerably cooled down. Apparently right now, according to the weather app, it is like 16 degrees. Celsius. Celsius, right? Yeah, Celsius. I don't work in Fahrenheit. Although I think if I was in 16 degrees Fahrenheit, I should be very concerned about my well-being. Canada seems nice, but I'm a gardener and the short garden season up there would be a drag. I haven't like tried to like seriously garden, so I haven't noticed, but yeah. Because like sometimes the winters drag on a bit, and like sometimes it doesn't warm up until like sometimes it'll be February and it'll still be cold, so not great for gardening, I suppose. I guess that's why a lot of people turn to, what is it, seeding? Is that the term? I don't know, but like they start like planting their seeds inside in like those little container thingies, pots to sprout, before like bringing them outside to plant. Anyways, we have to prove there was some other way she was stabbed.
Even if the woman was throwing books, it can't be related to this crime if the window was closed, can it?
Greenhouse? That's true, although where I live, greenhouses just aren't common, and I don't think most people would have enough room for a greenhouse. I think I would like one. Although I guess it depends on the size. I think one day I want to go to one of those like really big greenhouses that you can go into, preferably like a butterfly garden or something where it's just like, it's ginormous, there's like a whole bunch of flowers and plants. I think that would be really nice. Oh my god, I'm getting some PTSD here.
Dearie me, it was only a little book, hardly life-threatening even with a direct hit.
Yeah, I did not punch you, I hit you.
Look, I just want to get this over with. If I don't bring home some pay tonight, I'll be in a tiny bit of trouble. Come to think of it, we had a fire at home a while ago. It gave me the sneezes.
Some of these things are just so random what they say. Like,
why do you find this man guilty? You know, back at my home, there was a fire. It made me sneeze a lot. Yeah, that's why I find this man guilty.
Yes, considerably more tangible arguments from all members of the jury this time around, it seems. With one notable exception, of course.
My learned student friend was unable to find fault in the previous witness testimony. So the court must accept the fact that it was indeed the accused seen fleeing from the scene. And moreover, no one else was even at the scene to commit the crime.
Well, if the eyewitnesses are correct, it would seem as if the conclusion is somewhat set in stone. I fail to see how it can be argued any other way.
That means I'm afraid that during the summation examination, it's essential that you establish some other tangible explanation for the facts. But how? What would even constitute a tangible explanation here?
Isn't it obvious? Who stabbed the woman and how? Those two details are all you need to provide. Simply give us a name and a method by which the attack was conducted.
And there I was, thinking this might be hard. But Mr. Naruhodo, you have to do it. Otherwise, this really will be where the trial ends. No pressure, then.
That's quite enough preamble. Proceed with the summation examination, please. I presume you are prepared, counsel.
Oh, yes, my lord. Alrighty, Ryunosuke. Focus your mind now. Clearly, the key to the summation examination is going to be juror number 4, the maid. Or should I say, Mrs. Garrett?
You have a book that disappeared from the Garrett's house on the evening of the incident. And the 4th book found in the victim's hand.
There must be a way to link the two. I visited a place like that, flower garden with butterflies in Minnesota. I remember it was really warm in there, even though it was cold outside. So nice seeing tropical plants thriving in the middle of winter, though. Yeah, I just love flowers in general. I would have loved to go there. Maybe I should look, although I don't think there's anything like that around here. I would have to probably travel quite a bit. Yes, that's what we have to find. Using every technique I've learned in my short career so far, whatever it takes.
And don't forget to keep an eye on Mrs. Garrett and how she reacts, even to the things other people say.
Okay, left behind evidence at the scene, 3 books. I'm just gonna press everything, I think. But as we now know, there were 4 books, not 3.
Well, what difference does it make?
There's every possibility that the 4th book, in fact, belongs to the defendant's landlord.
Yes, that's the part I have a problem with.
Sorry?
Well, at the point the woman was stabbed, this landlord fellow was at home, wasn't he? Enjoying a fiery scrap with his wife or something, you said.
That's not exactly how I put it, no.
Well, anyway, point is the fellow and his wife were somewhere else when it happened.
I think that's what you call a strong alibi.
So it couldn't have been the landlord who did it, which only leaves the Nipponese fellow. Honestly, I can't see what all this palaver's about. It's a done deal, isn't it?
I suppose it is, since I've nothing witty left to say. I think maybe... We'll see how I feel, but like... I don't know. I might want to stop soon just because I'm feeling terribly sleepy. I'm gonna turn off this heating pad. I am actually starting to overheat now. Okay, alternative explanation about how the victim was stabbed. Like, I don't know what other No, that's too... Because I was like, what if, like, I know it's not possible, but I was like, what if knife flew out of the window and landed in her back or something? You know, like, and that sounds very far-fetched and a little stupid, but how else would you explain her being stabbed?
Hold it!
So, you might be willing to change your decision, you mean?
Oh my, such delight on your face. But I'm afraid I shan't be swayed by emotion. Despite what you may think of me, I am a very modern, metropolitan, and rational woman.
That's great.
If one reads the morning papers, it's all forgotten by tea time, isn't it? So why read them in the first place?
I like her philosophy. And the book wound up there as well. It's possible. I don't know though. Like, I don't remember how far the crime scene is. Like, I know it's not far from the house, but like in terms of street, like, I don't know, the odds of like a knife flying out of the window and like landing in this woman's back, I don't know. She could have been picking up the book, and as she was bent over, the knife struck her. Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of. But even then, like, I don't know, like the possibility of that just sounds so, it just sounds so improbable. They're on the 3rd floor. That's true, but like, I don't know, like, because when you think about it, it all just sounds so silly. What are the odds that this chain of events happened, you know? And not at all extreme.
As I see it, an overwhelmingly suspicious Japanese man has been implicated by overwhelmingly strong testimony. So, despite one or two minor puzzlements, I do declare that the man is overwhelmingly guilty. Modern, metropolitan, and rational logic, wouldn't you say?
Overwhelmingly.
But us modern gals are always delighted to embrace new fads, you know. So I'd be only too happy to consider an exciting new theory if you could come up with one.
I'd be happy to do that too, if only I could.
Let's do our very best not to disappoint the modern and metropolitan young lady.
Right. I'm glad you admitted rational there. Okay, even if the woman was throwing books, it can't be related to this crime if the window was closed.
Hold it!
But what about the possibility that the window was open? The old man mentioned the fire in his sneeze fit. Yeah, I'm not quite sure how that fits into it.
What about it? I mean, there's just no way it could have been.
How can you be so sure?
Prosecutor Thello over there said it earlier, didn't he? Winters in London are no joke. You don't want to invite that sort of cold indoors. So no, that window wasn't open. Us Londoners like sitting by the fire and staying warm, you see.
But you couldn't categorically state that the window wasn't open, could you?
It just wasn't. They wouldn't have opened it.
And what's the point in even having windows, huh? Oh, Jesus. Still haven't scared me yet. I think it's because the yeet isn't very loud. Like, I think it would need to be louder and the game would have to be a bit more quieter to let the smoke out. You know what? That is true. But then again, this would have to be after the fire, right? Or during the fire? I don't know. We'll see.
Counsel, you will kindly refrain from childish bickering.
Oh, sorry. Somehow I need to show there's an undeniable possibility that the window was open. Because this young man isn't going to budge otherwise. Oh, Jesus. Are you trying to scare me? Do you just want to see me scared? So maybe I pit him against the old man.
Hold it!
But the little book was on fire at the time, was it not? I'm trying to wake you up. Thank you. Although I think the only thing that might wake me up is if I were to like stand up right now and do like 10 squats or something. Oh, hydrate. Thank you. But the little book was on fire at the time, was it not?
With flames of love, I'll have you know.
Well, to be fair, she did throw a burning book, then there should have been other scorch marks, shouldn't there? I don't know. There's really no such thing as a loving incendiary bomb. Oh god, incendiary. Why do I have such a difficult time saying that word? I have no idea. I feel so bad for the man sitting beside her because he keeps getting smacked every time she goes out to swing her arm and like wrap her hands in a fist. Ever stretch so good you get a head rush that sends you to another dimension? No, I haven't. I have yet to experience such euphoria. The only head rush I get is when I squat down and stand up too quickly and then I gotta go and like lean against the wall so I don't collapse.
Well, he brought it upon himself. It's playing with fire to betray your fiery love.
What was it? Didn't, I think it was she suspected him of cheating or something like that. Yeah. She suspected him of cheating because she found, like, some love letter in a book, but, like, her husband was insisting that it was, like, I think it was, like, a secondhand book he bought, and, like, he didn't know the letter was in there.
Isn't it? Well, don't you agree?
Oh, well, any kind of betrayal is certainly a bad thing, yes. But I think the argument might have arisen out of your misunderstanding, Mrs. Garrett.
Never mind you that. The point is we were just having a jovial little dispute, nothing more. And I won't have any more of these suggestions that it was anything whatsoever to do with this crime.
Right, well, we'll see about that. What about juror number 5? He doesn't seem to be turning a hair at Mrs. Garrett's relentless onslaughts. I don't know, man. I would be kind of pissed if, like, the person beside me kept smacking me. Like, I already get annoyed enough when, like, the person beside me is, like, breathing. It's almost as though he's used to it. What a gentle soul he is. Oh, damn. Maybe he experiences that in the workplace. She's violent to absolute strangers. Yeah. She's also, like, very violent towards her husband. I do feel sorry for the man. I don't think he can, like, procreate anymore with, like, the amount of, like, hot tea she spilled onto his lap.
Hold it!
Maybe... No. I was trying to, like, think of if, like, possibly Mrs. Garrett had some sort of connection to this guy. Like, maybe she's paying him or something, but I don't think that's it. You just want to get this over with. How can you sit there and say something like that? A man's future is at stake here.
Well, him and me both then, like I said before.
What?
I told you already, I'm a day laborer, aren't I? If I don't bring home some readies with me tonight, you'll find me floating face down in the Thames tomorrow morning.
What?
You heard me. My missus isn't one to mess about, you know. She can be fierce, believe you me.
Another shining example of marital bliss, then.
A situation like this cropped up the other day. It was, well, you know, it's funny, but I can't quite remember.
Sorry?
It was too frightening, that's the thing. I must have blocked it out. Helpful.
Only wonder Mr. Beat will ever be dragged into the Thames by his scarf.
Well, considering they're both connected to the scarf, she would also drown as well. But you know what? Maybe she's into that. Because I know some people are like... there are some people who like the idea of I don't know. I don't remember the term for it, but I know it's a thing that some people are into. Don't even go there, Miss Susato. There must be some way to jog his memory about this. Okay, maybe I have to show him something. Oh, I didn't mean to click.
We need to demonstrate who, apart from Mr. Natsume, could have attacked the young woman on the street, as well as how he or she could have done it.
Yes, but once again, the jurors' statements are full of personal prejudice. A lot of them seem convinced they're right, even in the face of logical arguments to the contrary.
I think you're going to need to pit them against each other to force them to accept an alternative explanation.
Yes. I don't necessarily need to find contradictions between their assertions. Just a connection might do the trick. Alright, I'll see what I can do. If anything stands out, I'll go in for a strike.
And that's the spirit.
Okay, well first I have to, something... I don't think I have anything to show him. Maybe it's something somebody said. The maid and the day laborer. Probably. Anyways, I'm gonna pit this. Well, you know what? I actually want to, I do want to press the old man on this. The problem is I'm just gonna have to go through a whole bunch of that dialogue with Susato again. Oh, I didn't mean to pit, I meant to press.
Hold it!
Does that have anything to do with your decision about the defendant's culpability in this case?
Sorry? What's that? You'll have to speak up, lad.
Could you tell us more about that fire?
It was last winter. My grandchildren baked me a lovely cake on my birthday. It had 75 candles on the top, it did. What a sight to behold it was.
You put candles on a cake? Was it some kind of devil worship? I wonder when candles on cakes became a regular thing.
Of course not. It was an angel cake to celebrate my birthday, obviously.
It seems that's a common custom here in Great Britain, Mr. Naruhodo.
Anyway, I mustered all my puff to blow them out. Only I must have blown wrong somehow. The flames didn't go out, but candles went flying all over the room. Furniture caught and everything went up. The whole place filled with smoke.
Definitely sounds like devil worship to me. And by the sneezes, I presume you mean a cold, but how did you catch a cold from a fire?
What a fiasco it was! The grandchildren, bless them, threw water over me as they tried to put out the flames.
Oh my god, Grandpapa's on fire, quick, douse him.
And then because the whole room had filled up with smoke, of course, we had to open all the windows to clear it.
The windows?
The biting winter air rushed over me like the devil dancing on my grave, it did.
Thank you for the head pat. Can you tell I'm getting significantly more sleepy?
I caught a terrible cold from it, put me in hospital for a while. I won't forget that birthday in a hurry. Oh no, ow!
You know what, that probably would wake me up. A spray bottle in real life.
Ow!
I'm being assaulted, how could you? Alright. I knew it was devil worship all along. Stretch? I'm actually gonna get up to stretch. I think that might be better for me. All these cables I have to untangle myself from. That dropped. I'll pick it up later. I think I popped about 20 joints and like maybe a rib. I feel so old. I'm just not very flexible. So anytime I move, even if it's to bend my knee, I start creaking. What with the nosebleeds? Is it from the head rushes? I don't know. Something about this old man's story is playing on my mind for some reason. Ow! Oh my god. You know what? Maybe I don't know. I think that piano knocked out all my brain cells. I don't know what I was gonna say. Okay, I'm gonna pit Window Man with Old Man. Pit this man. You have to open windows, clear the smoke. That's when the chill gets you, you see.
Objection!
These two juror statements clearly contradict one another.
They do. How exactly, counsel?
Don't point at me again. I told you it wasn't me.
What's that you say? Speak up, lad, speak up.
Juror number 3, do you see?
Oh, me? See what, sir?
Did you hear juror number 6's account of his birthday celebrations last year? It seems, despite being a Londoner, he once opened his windows in the middle of winter.
Well, yes, of course, because it was an emergency. I mean, obviously, if the room was filled with smoke from a fire, then you'd be mad not to open the...
Oh!
Exactly. On the day in question at the time of the incident, there was a fire in the Garrett household. Mr. Garrett had the following to say about it. The whole place filled with smoke.
Oh, my hat!
Oh. Somebody's getting finicky there. Therefore, to clear the smoke, either Mr. Garrett or his wife almost certainly opened the window. That, you cannot deny, would be in no way out of the ordinary.
No, I suppose it wouldn't.
Her nervous tick is to drink tea? That's so funny. She's gonna need a pee so bad later. My doc says my flexibility is really bad. I'm constantly redlining, according to him. He says I need to go to physical therapy and learn stretching exercises. I can't touch my toes at the moment. I think I can do it if I try really hard, but like the burn is real. But yeah, I probably should go for a checkup sometime this year. I can't remember the last time I went for a general checkup. But I too could benefit from some stretching, although I think we all could benefit from some stretching exercises. Pursue.
Excuse me.
I love that voice line. It's just so, excuse me. Stop right there. Juror number 4. Do you have something to say about that? Man, try listening to that while you really have to pee. Mrs. Garrett.
Oh, dearie me. What is the meaning of this? How dare you imply that I'm hiding who I really am?
It's imperative that you confirm something for the court. So please, it's time to drop the pretense now.
What is it?
When the fire started in your house that day, did you or your husband open the window?
What? I beg your pardon. What are you insinuating?
The room would have been thick with smoke after the carpet and bookcase caught fire as they did. In a situation like that, it's inconceivable that you wouldn't have opened the window.
And what if we did? Oh, all right then. Yes, you're right. My husband was frantically trying to open the window, which can't have been easy since I continued to give him more justly deserved book battering.
Even though your house was on fire?
You never stop throwing till the anger subsides. It would be terribly bad for the nerves to do otherwise.
Of course. I should have realized.
That's a significant step forward, Mr. Naruhodo. You've managed to establish that the window was open.
I get Charlie horses in the middle of the night because of my lack of flexibility. It's weird. I wake up screaming in pain. I really should do something about it. I had a period of time where, like, that also happened to me. They weren't bad enough where I would scream in pain, but they were definitely painful. I keep forgetting that that is another term for them. I just normally refer to them as like leg cramps, but I forget that like people use Charlie horse as well. But yeah. Maybe I need to stretch. Maybe I need to be more flexible. Maybe that's what it is. That, or I need to eat like a couple of bananas or something. But yeah, it hasn't happened in a while. So here's hoping it doesn't. But yeah, it's normally when I keep waking up like randomly in like odd hours in the morning. Like I'll wake up and then I'll try to move and then leg cramp happens and then I cry. I curl up into a ball and I cry. Might be American thing, severe leg cramps or Charlie horses is really weird. I've only ever heard it used in America, so I think it might be.
We simply must have that added to Mrs. Garrett's formal statement.
Okay, so that's added now. The window was open. Window was open at the time I'd cleaned forgotten, but it's true. Okay. Okay, window could have been open. Do I pit them again, or I've already established? Or I think we have established that the... Let me save. Because they haven't changed their opinions. So I think I need to pit them against each other again. Because this time she's like positively confirming. Like she's like saying definitely. Is it definitively? I don't know. But she's saying yes, the window was open. So he's saying it could have been.
Objection.
These two statements contradict each other. Have to object. That's complete nonsense. Am I wrong then? I'm a banker, don't forget. An educated man, and there's no contradiction as far as I can see. Yeah, okay. No! You know what? I'm not too mad about losing one. I still got like, what, 4 more? I think I can I don't think I need to load my save. Okay, so that's fine then. Window was open. Winter house fires are dire. You have to open windows to clear the smoke. That's when the chill gets you. Now, I wonder about the alternative stabbing. Ooh, I don't know if there's any more people I could pit. Or am I supposed to pit him against her? Because literally the only alternative explanation about the stabbing is like window flew, like not a window. I would be worried if the window flew, but if a knife flew out of the window. There's no other statement I can think of. You know what, for once I'm at a loss. I'm gonna try pitting them together. I might have to go look up the walkthrough though. I don't think I can present anything to these people. I can only pit them against each other. Accused left behind evidence, 3 books of his. I don't know if I'm supposed to pit this against something else. Oh, I could say that the books could have been from that guy's library too. I mean, what are the odds? But I don't know. We'll try it. I press everyone though. Accused left behind evidence of the scene. Those 3 books. Window could have been open when the woman was throwing books. I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of. We'll try it. Those 2 statements clearly contradict each other. No. Okay. That doesn't work. I'm just gonna load my save. And I'm gonna go look up the walkthrough. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a bit lost and I genuinely don't have the brain power for this right now. So we're gonna go Google the walkthrough. If I typed this right. We were on Clouded Kokoro. I think we're on part 1 of the trial. Okay, press... Am I on part 2? Okay, yeah. Press juror number 6, pit 3 and 6, did that. Okay. Oh, okay. I'm supposed to press her on this. Yeah, no, I'm not supposed to pit anyone. I'm supposed to press her on her new statement and then something's gonna happen.
Hold it!
The 4th book found at the scene of the crime shows very obvious signs of fire damage. And the title of the book is The Lion's Pride. The same title, in fact, as the book that Mr. Garrett told us he had been reading. Her face.
Well, I really couldn't say.
On the day in question, did you or did you not throw at your husband the copy of The Lion's Pride that he had been reading?
I did. It was the first thing I could lay my hands on, so I hurled it straight at him.
Oopsies, I didn't mean to do that.
And now you come to mention it. Yes. He was rather enjoying reading it, you're right.
Why did you not reveal this information to the court from the outset?
Because I couldn't, you insolent little man. I didn't remember. Times like that, you pick up and throw whatever you can lay your hands on as well, you know.
I really don't.
I merely noticed I was throwing a book, much less the title of it.
Oh. Well, hello there.
Excuse me.
What is it, juror number 5?
You know something. I've remembered what it was. That memory I'd blocked out.
Ah,
It was listening to what this granny was saying brought it all flooding back.
Who are you calling a granny, you cheeky devil? I'm Mrs. Garrett or the maid, I'll have you know.
Man doesn't even flinch. Please tell me that's not because he's used to being hit all the time.
It was about 2 weeks ago now. I just got back home after work, like. I put my hand in my pocket for the wages I just earned that day, and I nearly died. It was a hole. Every last penny had dropped out.
Oh dear, what a disaster.
You haven't heard the half of it, boy.
Oh?
The wife was cutting up some chicken at the time. I could hardly get the words out, but I told her straight. I've lost the day's wages, love.
Main character in this game gets very pissed at times, slams his fist down. I object. Yeah, that's his main animation.
Next thing I know, the blade was whistling past my ear. Stuck into the wall next to me, it did. About an inch deep.
No words. Just terror. So our knife out of the window theory is not too far-fetched.
I could smell it then, you know. That god-awful stench of the Thames. I was sure I was going to end up face down in the muddy banks that night, I can tell you. Now, that's a real disaster, isn't it?
I'll never use the word lightly again.
Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is this. When women lose their rag, they'll throw anything at you. Knives, hatchets, hammers, you name it.
Mr. Naruhodo, you mustn't think that all women are so short-tempered and unrefined.
No, I wasn't thinking that. So the day labor and the posh lady. I think what it was is like, she ran out of books, so she started throwing other things at her husband, and one of them could have been the pocket knife.
Throwing household objects at people is, well, it's so uncivilized. At least attack with honor, using a bow or the like.
What? Attack? Who are you going to attack?
Never mind. Anyway, this man's words could be rather significant, I think.
Alright, we'll come back to the bow and arrow thing later, if I dare. Okay, a woman in a rage will hurl almost anything at you. The kitchen knife really brought that home to me. I think I can pit him now against number 2? Yeah. Novel alternative. There's no other way to put this. I think my stomach is upset with me. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run the ad break early. It's supposed to like happen in like 14 minutes anyway. So I'm just gonna start that early and go use the bathroom. And no. Why? As I say that, my stomach is like, you're fine. I don't need to cause you pain anymore. So you know what? We're just gonna leave it. Watch me regret those words. But we're just gonna pit these people. Those two statements clearly have a deeply significant connection.
Good grief, you mean they don't contradict each other? Explain, counsel, at once.
Juror number 2, do you think perhaps that this could be one such novel alternative?
Oh my, whatever do you mean?
An alternative explanation as to how the victim was stabbed in the back.
What are you talking about?
We've demonstrated that the 4th book, The Lion's Pride, that was found at the scene of the crime, originated in Mr. Garrett's room on the top floor of his house. Therefore, it's equally possible that some other object besides the book could have found its way from the Garrett household to the street below.
What's that now?
After all, Mrs. Garridip could have thrown any number of different objects at her husband. Isn't that right, juror number 4?
What are you insinuating now, you little beanpole?
Beanpole? Tummy rumbling, perhaps some Pepto, that always does the trick for me. Unfortunately, I don't own any Pepto. I don't think I've ever used it. I'm beginning to think that, ever since the true origins of this book came to light, perhaps she's had a feeling this might be what happened.
Now you listen here, you Eastern Gala. As the foreman of this jury, I demand a straight answer. You give us this yarn about some other object making its way out of the house. But what? What was it?
I'm really taking a big gamble here. That was a bold accusation to make, but I haven't any real evidence to back it up. But I'm certain that at the very least this warrants further investigation. All right, Mr. Foreman. I'll try to explain the defense's theory. The other object that found its way from the Garridip household to the scene of the crime was the knife. No!
Take that!
Juror number 4, Mrs. Garridip.
What now?
I must apologize in advance for this. But I need you to confirm something else for the court. This knife. Have you ever seen this knife before?
Good Lord, Counsel, what on earth are you doing? That's the weapon that was lodged into the victim's back, man.
My lord, remember that when the victim was attacked, Mr. and Mrs. Garridip were in the throes of an argument. Mrs. Garridip was hurling anything she could at her husband, who'd been backed up against the window. A window that had been opened to clear the smoke, and through which a book sailed to land at the crime scene. I guess the book then proved that any thrown object could land there.
You can't possibly believe that. The book was found in the victim's grasp.
Are you saying that it flew out the window and across the street to land neatly in her hand?
Even my missus hasn't got a name like that.
Yes, I admit, there are many details we don't yet understand. That's the point. That's precisely why. We must not allow this trial to end. Not right now.
Oh my.
Mrs. Garridip, your answer, please. Have you seen this knife before or not? She just faints.
My lord! I wish to change my decision. I'm a woman of my word, after all.
Thank you, madam.
Yes, I agree. I certainly didn't see this coming, but I just don't think it would be right for this trial to come to an end now with so many unanswered questions.
Pepto's nice. You actually feel it coating your stomach. It's like it creates a shield in your tummy to protect against aches. Oh. I can see how that could feel pleasant. It sounds very cozy. Mr. Foreman.
I'd have to agree. Not that I think the granny did it mind.
Yes, you know what? I'm not quite happy about this at the moment either.
All together now, ladies and gents.
Kapow. We did it.
Oh, congratulations, Mr. Naruhodo.
So, as a result of the defense's summation examination, a number of jurors' leanings have changed. 2 jurors called guilty against 4 now calling innocent. Accordingly, the opinion of this court is divided, and this trial will continue.
I can't remember. Does this continue on to like the next part? Like I meant another episode.
Now then, Lord Van Zieks, how does the prosecution wish to proceed?
This trial is rapidly descending into a farce. Like a corked wine, the first sips are bitter enough. But what follows is so repugnant it's good for nothing save the gutter. If I may, Lord Van Zieks, the defense has just put forward a credible alternative explanation for what happened. Credible? Is that your considered opinion, Mr. Foreman? The defense's argument is a joke to which I barely know how to respond. Let me start by insisting that you must all familiarize yourselves better with the relative positions of those places being discussed.
What do you mean by that? What's his angle this time?
It should already be more than apparent that between the crime scene and the Garrett household runs a rather wide street, Briar Road. Which means that the distance from the Garrett's house to the scene is 15 yards.
Let me see. 15 yards. That's around 14 meters.
Oh, that's quite far. 14 meters? Oh, that's a little farther than I'd imagined.
And as your ladies and gentlemen, the jury rightly noted as having portentous significance, the fourth book was found in the victim's clutches. In other words, the smoldering book wantonly held by the lady of the house traveled some 15 yards to land on the opposite side of the road, neatly between the collapsed victim's fingers and thumb. Is that your final conclusion, my learned and deluded friend? And the jackknife follow a near identical trajectory to plunge into the middle of the victim's back. This fantasy is somewhat stretching the notion of having a bad day for the victim, I think. Even those pathetic serialized detective stories have much more believable plots.
And better twists, too. There's nothing I can say to that.
That prosecutor loves the sound of his own voice.
It's Susato.
Serialized detective stories are pathetic, are they? How dare he?
Maybe let's pick our battles here.
My lord, might I be allowed to speak?
As judicial assistant, you may speak for the defense, yes. Go ahead.
The prosecution may consider the idea a fantasy, but what the defense has postulated was believable enough to persuade the jury to change its leaning. And as such, the court has a duty to explore this alternative explanation as thoroughly as possible. To that end, juror number 4, Mrs. Joan Carradib, must be called to testify and submit to cross-examination.
Saints alive! Cross-examination of a juror.
Order! Order! Well, this is highly irregular.
It is unprecedented for a member of the jury to be summoned to the witness stand.
Oh shit, he threw away the whole bottle.
And unnecessary.
Lord Van Zieks.
There are already witnesses in the stand whose testimony is forged.
What was I reading?
Whose testimony the defense may further cross-examine. If my lord friend's partial theory has any truth in it, then both the burning book and jackknife must have flown through the sky before this couple's eyes. And we must assume they would be able to testify accordingly.
What say you, witnesses?
Also, heads up, we have an ad break in like 2 minutes. I forgot to mention. Husband and wife, something's wrong. Yeah, something's fishy about him.
Yes, sir. Constable Broly Beat, reporting for duty, sir. Well, good morning, officer. Sorry for dozing until now. Sir, I haven't slept for a month on account of the villain who's appeared on my beat, sir.
A month? A man's sleep debt must be incredible.
Huh? They're so heroic, these London bobbies. Patricia, my darling, I've been neglecting you, but no more.
Broly, my hero, you make me swoon. Very well, I hereby reject the defense's request.
Okay. What if the victim was in the middle of the road picking up the book when she was struck? It could be possible, and then like she was hit and then fell closer to the side. Okay, I'm gonna go run the ads now. I'll see you guys in 3 minutes. I don't have anything to do. I'll probably just sit here. I don't think it would be a good idea for me to rest my eyes or else I'll fall asleep. So I'll see you. 3 minutes. I will do my best to stay awake. It's so difficult though. I want to... Maybe, I think another half hour and then we'll call it a night and then I will go get ready for bed and just yeet in and pass out. Oh, I'll wait. I'll wait until the ads are done. Just say it. You know what? Maybe I will rest my eyes for like 2 minutes. Somebody, I don't know, yeet me or something when the ads are done. I don't know. You know what? Anybody who has ads won't do it because they didn't hear these instructions. That's okay. I'll open my eyes in like a minute. At this point, the most plausible theory is like the knife flying out of the window because like I don't know, maybe I don't think it was a person, but the thing is, wouldn't have like Natsume noticed a figure in front of him stop? Has it been? It's only been there's still 1 minute and 30 left. I don't remember what I was talking about. Oh yeah, the sleepies are real. Okay. I gotta do something to keep awake. I would make tea if I had any. I mean, I do have tea, but there's no caffeine in it, so that's not gonna help me at all. I need to go raid the pantry for some black tea. I think we have some. Alright, we still have 1 minute. These minutes always feel so long when I want them to be short. But yeah, I don't know. I can't... Because if it's not Natsume... And there was supposedly nobody else at the scene of the crime. And then I think our only hope is a tattoo. Not tattoo. What was I talking about? I don't remember. This is... My memory is just shot right now. But yeah, it must have been that because I can't recall any other way. Oh, welcome back. I have been trying so very hard not to fall asleep. But as I said, I'm gonna stream for maybe like another 20-30 minutes and then call it a night because oh my god, I want to sleep so bad. I think it's just because I'm sitting here and reading. It doesn't help. Oh. At least lucky for me, I don't have any classes tomorrow, so I can sleep in a bit if I want.
Oh. And order the witnesses in the stand to testify again. State forthwith before the court any details pertaining to the defense's alternative explanation of the events.
Yes, sir.
You know what? Maybe after the testimony, I think might be a good place to stop.
This case has nothing to do with Mr. and Mrs. Garrett. Believe me, a London puppy is good for his word. You see, sir, windows on the top floor of the Garrett house are top-hinged casements.
Obviously, if anything had been thrown out of the window, we would have seen it. I did leave the scene to go and fetch help. My trusty Burley was there to make sure nothing was disturbed.
Didn't you say he was like face down in the snow sleeping?
I didn't take my eye off the crime scene for one moment, sir. Nothing strange to report on that front, sir.
The book is the common factor here? Yeah. I just have to prove it was thrown out of the window and landed there.
Well, that is quite startling. Top-hinged casement windows.
That detail was not in the police report, Constable.
Ah, yes, sorry about that. I must have been a little drowsy.
You cannot excuse your sins with drowsiness every time, Constable. No, sir.
Sorry, but what exactly is a top-hinged casement window?
And you cannot excuse your ignorance with such trite remarks, my learned friend.
Of course. Sorry.
I found it, Mr. Naruhodo. Cast your mind back to the windows in Mr. and Mrs. Garrett's room.
All right, I'll try. Cue the harp music.
So the windows open in order to allow air to circulate inside the house. But it's a top-hinge casement window. It swings open along the upper edge, you see.
I'm glad you've rectified your ignorance. A casement window's most prominent feature is its stay, a metal bar which prevents the window from being opened beyond a certain amount.
It prevents it opening? This is all news to me.
Absolutely correct, sir. In other words, if a book or knife were to have been thrown through the open window, it would have clattered against the pane and fell straight down to the pavement below.
No.
You see the problem, then? Good. Your education in windows is complete. There was never any possibility of either the book or the knife traveling 15 yards over the road. That is, unless the window pane had been shattered. Something we've discounted already.
That can't be.
Did you see that, Rolly? That young Japanese man just collapsed in agony.
Oh yes, my darling, I saw it. I saw how he crumbled before me.
Oh, Rolly, you're so strong.
It's making me cringe. How is this happening? Haven't even started the cross-examination yet, and already my argument's been destroyed.
Cancel, if you could drag yourself upright again. The court awaits your cross-examination. My lord. Oh, God, another desperate situation. Okay, has nothing to do.
Hold it!
How can you say that for certain? A very good question, sir. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. And the answer is this. It has the noble founding principles of the force written on it as a reminder to all us policemen of our sworn duty. He showed us that before, didn't he? Did he? I don't remember. Drag strong. Yeah. Patrol the streets of London town and uphold the peace of the common man. It's what the job's all about. And that is why I can stand here today beside my long-suffering wife and tell you a Bobby's good for his word. While rubbing my tired eyes, admittedly. Sir.
Oh, really? You're so manly.
Of course I am, my darling Patricia. Oh, Pat.
Oh, really?
No, none of this is what I meant. I meant, how can you say for certain that this case has nothing to do with Mr. and Mrs. Garrett? Ah, I see. Oh, I see, sir. You should have said so earlier, sir. Yes, well, so could you answer the question? That was a waste of time, then. Absolutely, sir. I will answer it to the fullest of my abilities, sir. There's a surprising reason why Mr. and Mrs. Garrett's domestic dispute can't be related to this case. But before I get into that, sir, just one thing. Yes? I'd very much like you and all your countrymen to understand the great British institution of Scotland Yard. So I hope you'll take back some tales of us London bobbies and how we uphold our guiding principles. I wasn't planning on going back just yet. I've only just arrived here. So to that end, sir, I hit autoplay, that's why. I was like, why is the text moving so fast? Oh, thank you for the head pat, Bayo. I wasn't paying attention. For some reason, he reminds me of a murderous... Oh, no. Why did I read murderous? For some reason, he reminds me of a nutcracker guard. A little bit. It could be because of the hat shape. The head pats are so short now. Are they? I haven't noticed. I can make them longer. Is that short? I don't know. I don't think I've ever changed the time. Yeah, that's something I'll have to do later. Because there's multiple timers being called and they all have like different seconds. Well, let's see. Wonder what this does. Does this make it a little longer? Need sound effects too? I don't know. What would the sound effects be? A little like a squeak or something? Head pats for 4 hours be good enough?
God, that would be so long. I think I would go bald at that point if I were to get like a head pat for 4 hours. Like you would just pat all the hair off my head. Quack or purr? You know, cows purr. I learned that cows purr when they're like happy. Yeah. I haven't actually listened to what it sounds like, but I do know that they can purr. Anyways, I missed a whole bunch of text because in my sleepy state, I hit autoplay. I'd very much like you and all your countrymen to understand the great British institution of Scotland Yard, so I hope you'll take back some tales of us. No, wait, what? Oh. Ah, that's what it is. So to that end, sir, I'd be happy to lend you my warrant card for your perusal. Oh, thank you for the barrage. I think everyone's just trying to keep me awake at this point. We need you to dub a sound effect of you purring like a cow. The thing is, I don't think I can replicate it. From what I'm told, it's like a cat purring, but even deeper. I don't know. I just can't even purr in the first place. How does one purr? Can humans purr? I don't know how to do it. Thank you. I'll try. Humans can purr? Oh. I wonder if it's like an automatic response, human purring. Or if it's something you have to like consciously do. Okay, what are the principles of policing? Item number 1, a policeman will strive to preserve the peace within his allotted beat. A patrolling officer is expected to walk 20 miles around his beat every day for the furtherance of community relations. Screw that. Like, oh my god, this sounds like so much walking. Police regulations. Any crimes fall under the jurisdiction of the beat in which they are discovered. When a crime is discovered on his beat, a policeman must assist with initial investigations and help detectives. Do you think cats have to focus to purr? Well, no, I know cats do it instinctively, but like, I've never heard a human purr, and so like, I wonder if it's an instinctive response or it's something they have to focus. I feel like I'm gonna go into some weird rabbit hole of like Googling what human purring sounds like at like 1 a.m. and it's just gonna be like some weird spiral and it's just gonna be nightmare fuel for my dreams. That wasn't his beat. Yeah, well, from what I recall, he had his wife go get well, report it to the police box where the beat of the crime that occurred. So I still don't quite see what the issue is. Oh! When a crime is discovered on his beat, a policeman must assist with initial investigations to help detectives. Is it the fact that we haven't heard from this policeman? The one who was assigned that beat? I don't know. Anyways. Why it's what we do deep dives on random subjects. Yeah. But like, considering how sleepy I am, I know I'm just gonna like fall asleep sitting up again. And like, I don't know. Have you guys ever done that? Just like fall asleep sitting up? It's like not great when you wake up. You don't feel great after that. Anyways, the windows on the top floor are top hinged casements. I don't think I pressed this statement, right? I don't think so. It's like sleeping on an airplane, no. I mean, I guess. Personally, I think it would probably be a bit... Well, I guess it depends on what you do, but like it sounds like it would be a bit less... It would be more uncomfortable than sleeping on an airplane. Especially for me, because I don't have armrests. Or is that a plus when you're sleeping in your chair? I don't know.
Hold it!
Did you pay extra for the bed on the plane business class? No, no. I just stayed in basic economy. Because I have no problem with sleeping sitting up. I couldn't really sleep much anyway. I just couldn't fall asleep for very long. I would like be in and out of consciousness, but like not for very long. Like maybe like an hour at most, and then I would just try to go back to sleep again. Use his own card against him? Yeah. You know those rules you love? Here you go, you broke them. Okay, by which you mean they don't open fully, is that correct?
Yes, sir. They're just there to allow a bit of air through the house, you see, so they're restricted as to how much they open.
And therefore anything thrown out of the window from inside the room.
Whoops. Maybe I should just keep my mouse cursor in this area so I don't click on anything.
Would simply strike the pane and
Okay, we already went through that.
here's the location where objects would have fallen.
Oh, that's a far cry from what the crime happened.
Yes, directly opposite the scene of the crime, on the other side of the rather wide road.
Wouldn't it have been so hard for somebody to mention this top hinge casement thing before? Well, I have another question for you, Constable.
And what would that be, sir?
How do you even know? Why would you have any idea what sort of windows Mr. and Mrs. Garridip's house is furnished with?
Ah, well, sir, that's very simple. You see, I helped with the investigation yesterday.
He wasn't supposed to. There it is, Umbrella.
Excuse me.
I love that soundbite. It's so, like... It just sounds like I'm about to, like... fuck some shit up. That's what it is. Constable moved the body so he and his wife could celebrate their engagement. Did they? I don't know. I don't know what reason would they have to move the body. Do you have something to add, Mrs. Beat?
Sorry?
You look, well, delighted. Is there some particular reason for that?
Oh, I was just remembering, that's all. We really were so lucky.
Lucky? What do you mean?
Well, of course, I feel terrible for the poor woman who was attacked. Don't misunderstand me, please. But we were just so lucky it didn't happen on Rowley's beat. It was so close, you see.
Oh! Oh, that's what you meant, Umbrella, by they moved the body so that they could celebrate their engagement. Because I'm assuming if it was on... If it was, like, if she had been attacked here, he would have had to, like, take care of it. So they moved her over here so that whoever was, like, patrolling this area would take it. Ah! Damn. I mean, I'm not too surprised, but, like... yeah, the things people do, huh? Oh. I hadn't realized. This is terrible. I'm getting the 12 a.m. munchies. My stomach is yearning for sustenance. I'm just gonna fill it up with water and hopefully that satiates it for a bit.
Oh, yes, that Street Briar Road. That's the boundary between Rowley's Beach and the next one.
Oh, wow, okay, yeah.
Isn't that right, my love?
Constable B.
Yes, that's right. That's the reason I was helping out with interviewing the occupants of the Garrett household yesterday. That house is on my beat, you see. Sir.
That really was cutting it close then.
Constable, I wonder if you could clarify something. If the Garrett household is on your beat, does that mean that the pavement next to it is as well? Outside Mr. Garrett's house? Yes, ma'am. The pavement on that side of the road is part of my beat.
I see. I was unaware of that.
Just think, if the woman had been attacked just on the other side of Briar Road, we would have never been able to go for that meal to celebrate our wedding anniversary. Well, that's the life of a Bobby, after all.
Extraordinary people are Bobbies, tirelessly working for the benefit of all Londoners.
And do you know what I think? I think it was the good Lord's way of rewarding my Rolly for all his hard work. Don't you think so, my darling?
That must be it, Pat, my love. That must be it.
How can you lie with such straight faces? So that means it was impossible for the defendant. Couldn't have been on that particular street. Yeah, he did cut corners. So they couldn't have seen him because they moved the body. Well, I mean, I guess it's possible that they could have still seen the whole thing, but like, yeah, they moved the body. I think perhaps we should make sure we have that information officially on record.
Leave it to me, Mr. Naruhodo. I'll take care of it immediately.
And now it's my turn, I think.
Okay, if anything had been thrown out of the window, we would have seen it.
Hold it!
But according to my notes here, the sun had gone down already and it was dark.
Oh, but Rolly and I were strolling along, gazing at the night sky and looking for our lucky star.
Sorry?
The star that will guide us to eternal happiness.
Can't it guide you to answer the question?
The flaming book had cut across the sky in front of us. It would have lit up like a shooting star.
And if I'd seen a shooting star, I would have made a wish upon it. Let Rolly be an inspector. Inspector, I would have said 3 times at least.
Of course, what with the smog and everything, we couldn't actually see any stars. In short, are you trying to say that neither a book nor a knife crossed the sky before you? Yes, sir. That is correct, sir. As sure as the night sky in London is starless, sir.
Certainly seems like they're telling the truth.
And then we saw that poor woman fall to the ground, so we ran straight over to help her.
Okay, I did leave the scene to go and fetch my stuff, but leave my trusty rolly. But my trusty rolly was there to make sure nothing was disturbed.
Hold it!
Yes, you said that you went to a nearby police box to fetch another officer. Is that right?
That's right. Yes. If it had been on Rolly's beat, I would have known exactly where it was going, of course.
Oh no! But you know I was slouching. I'm just perpetually slouching. Just did some research. A cow's purr sounds like a combination of... Oh goodness, thank you for the hydrate. Of a human groan and snore. Oh. I'm so tired, I try to drink from my water bottle without opening the flap to drink water. She fell on his beat, but why do they need another officer? Well, I thought we established that they moved the body and then reported it to that other officer so that he could take care of it and they could have their dinner. You know?
don't feel bad, my love. Can't be expected to know the location of every police box on every beat.
So Early told me the way, only I sort of got a little lost on the way.
Patricia, my darling, that's why I love you. Your terrible sense of direction is bewitching to me. Oh, Pat.
Oh, really?
Kill me now. But yeah, there are many holes in his story. I'm gonna rip everyone open. Oh, please.
So I suppose I was gone for about 15 minutes. But like I said, my Rolly was at the scene the whole time, making sure nothing was disturbed.
I was off duty at the time, of course, but a true Bobby is never really off duty, sir.
Didn't take my eye off the crime scene for one moment. Surely there must be evidence that she was dragged, but I don't see any. Guess there's nothing on the case file either. Okay, no other signs of injury were observed. Press him on this. Nothing to report.
That's correct, sir. Had my eyes wide open the entire time, never looked away for a second. No one else approached the scene, and nothing was removed from it. I can swear to that on the yard's honor, sir.
Really? That seems a little strange.
I beg your pardon, sir. Strange, sir. Seems altogether regular to me.
This burnt copy of the Lion's Pride was originally in the Garrett household. So the question remains, how did it find its way into the hand of the victim? Can you shed any light on that, seeing as you were at the scene of the crime the entire time?
Aha! Could it be a different copy, sir? One that just happened to be burnt as well.
Even if that were possible, why would the victim have been gripping a book like that in her hand? As we can see from this photographic print, she had a bag over her shoulder.
Well, sir, that book was in the lady's hand from the moment we arrived at the scene.
Is that so? There's something about this statement that's not sitting right with me. The two mysteries of how this knife ended up in her back and how that book ended up in her hand. There must be a common thread between them.
Can I ask you something? Please, Mr. Lawyer, sir.
Oh, yes, of course. What is it?
You're doubting us, aren't you? I can tell.
What? I wasn't really. I mean, what's she doing?
Please, just because I'm a woman, it doesn't make my testimony any less valuable. You might just see me as the wife of a policeman, but I'm a woman of my word, I am.
I really don't know. I really don't remember ever suggesting that I doubted you.
No excuses, I don't want to hear it. My voice will be heard. My lord, you'll help me speak, won't you?
Yes, Miss Beach, I will allow you to supplement your testimony if you so desire. Sometimes the path of the least resistance is the sage one. That was a very loud matter. Oh, that was a very loud mutter.
I heard that. That Japanese man thinks a policeman's wife's word counts for nothing, doesn't he? Well, watch out, sir. Let you get away with something like that, but my Polly won't.
Duly noted, Mrs. Beach. Please, I humbly ask you to continue.
What could she possibly be about to say, I wonder?
What was the thing she said? Added. Sense of direction is a little off sometimes, though. Mrs. Beat, nobody is questioning what you've told us. Victim was in front of the residence. Yeah, it must have been by that window where, like, the fight happened.
I saw it. I did. That evening, I saw it clearly. That little Eastern man with the whiskers and the funny curved back is slinking away from the scene. And I know what I didn't see as well. I didn't see any flaming books or knives flying through the sky.
All very clear. You also mentioned something about having a poor sense of direction.
Oh, yes. Well, that's a little embarrassing, really. I've always ended up at the wrong place when I've made arrangements to meet Rowley. He gets ever so cross.
Oh, you have something to say. Constable Beat, is there a problem?
No, sir. No problem, sir.
The truth shall set you free, it will. Hopefully it's soon. Did your wife's remarks just now bring something to mind, perhaps?
Oh, well, in a way, sir. Yes, sir. I was just remembering that the same thing happened that evening as well, is all.
You mean Mrs. Beat lost her way on the night of the incident?
Well, you see, I sent her off to find a police box in the next beat over from mine. She was gone a fair bit longer than what I was expecting. I thought she'd be back inside 10 minutes, but my darling was gone a good 15.
Oh, Rowley, you're such a tease. But the reason I was so long was because of the bouquet, silly.
The bouquet? The bouquet? Oh god, I went country. The bouquet? Sorry, what bouquet are you talking about?
Oh, it was a present for our wedding anniversary. Really so romantic. He saved up for it with farthings and halfpennies he found in the gutter while doing his rounds.
Yes. How romantic.
I'd forgotten all about it until just now. Had you, my darling?
Oh, yes. But that was just between us. Not talking about it to anyone else, darling. You have to promise.
Really? Oh.
What was that all about? Constable Beat looked very obviously troubled during that exchange.
I'm afraid I can't offer my usual insight, Mr. Naruhodo. But I'm quite sure of one thing. We have to ask Mr. Beat about the bouquet.
Mrs. Beat, this bouquet you just mentioned. I'd like you to add details about it in your testimony, please.
Oh, really? Yes, I'd love to.
Okay, I don't know how much longer this is, but like I physically cannot stay awake any longer, so I'm just gonna have to save here. We're gonna call it a night. For me anyway, because oh my goodness, I'm so sleepy. She knew where she was going. Perhaps, maybe she just delayed herself on purpose. We don't know. Probably maybe to give him time to move the body. Nobody ever seems to be streaming at this time. That is okay, unless any of you have somebody you want me to raid. Otherwise, we'll just leave it here. She didn't get lost. Yeah, it's very possible. It could be that like she's completely lying about getting lost so that Rolly would have more time to move the body. Because I've never tried to what is it? Disrupt a crime scene or something, like manipulate a crime scene. But I imagine it would, what was it? he expected her back in 10, but she took 15. That's quite a bit of time to move a body. But yes, if nobody has anybody they want me to raid, we'll leave it here. What is it? I think I scheduled my next stream for Thursday, so yeah, Thursday's gonna be The Witcher. Probably same time as I started this one, around 8 p.m. in like Pacific time. Oh, that was the thing I wanted to say. I actually ended up dropping a course because honestly, screw that course. I just, I took it because it fit in my schedule, but like I just didn't like it. And it wasn't worth the stress it was giving me. So I dropped it, which means I don't have any school on like Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, which means I am like home all day. So I might try streaming a bit earlier. Don't know how that's gonna work out, because I normally stream in the evenings, but we'll see. It'll be a test for next week. But yes, I hope you guys have a good rest of your day or night, depending on where you are, and I will see you next time. I think Shiro is asleep. I will lift myself out of here. That's okay. Where is it? I don't even know. There it is. But yeah, thank you guys for coming by. I'll see you guys next time. Hopefully after I've gotten better sleep and I'm more coherent. Yeah. Alright. Have a good day, night. I'll see you guys.